right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Alahym in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me. You will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come by Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe to receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of him. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Come on, Silver. John 3:22.
After these things came Yahushua and the disciples into the land of Judea. There he tarried with them and baptized. John also was baptizing in Anon near Salim, because there was much water there, and they came and were baptized. For John was not yet cast into prison. Mm-hmm. Then there arose a question between some of John's disciples and the Yahudim about purifying.
Shalom, Jay.
And it came unto John and said unto him, Rabbi, he that was with you beyond Jordan, to whom you bear witness, behold, the same baptized, and all men come to him.
Shalom, Dad.
John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except to be given him from Shamayim. Mm-hmm. You yourselves bear me witness that I am not the Hamashiach, that I am sent before him. He that hath the bride is the bridegroom, but the friend of the bridegroom, which stand and hear him, rejoice greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. Mm-hmm. This my joy, therefore, is fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease. Mm-hmm. He that comes from above is above all. He that is of the earth is earthly. Speaking of earth, he that comes from Shamayim is above all. Mm-hmm. We have seen and heard that he testified, and no man received his testimony.
That's right.
He that have received his testimony have set to his seal that Alahym is true.
Indeed. What's happening with you, man? I'm chilling, brother.
For he whom Alahym have sent speak the words of Alahym. For Alahym gives not the Ruach by measure unto him. The Abba loved the Son, and have given all things into his hand. He that believe on the Son have everlasting life, and he that believe not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of Alahym abide on him.
All right, man, go to Proverbs 6:20. That's what we started with Wednesday. We'll run back a brief synopsis of man and get to it.
My son, keep your father's commandment and forsake not the law of your mother.
And do what with them?
Bind them continually upon your heart and tie them about your neck.
Go back and tell them what bind was one more time, man.
That is for sure, to bind, to tie, to bind together. To
now, remember, we talked about binding together in John 14 when he said, told you, Shalom, Brother Robert, he that have my commandments and do them, I will love him, my Abba will love him. And we'll make our abode with him, or to be bound together. And of course, that tied us into talking about the covenant of love. Of course, talking about David. Let's go to 1 Samuel 18:1 with that.
And it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. Mm-hmm. And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house.
He said he loved him what?
Loved him as his own soul.
Go ahead.
And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Mm-hmm. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. Mm-hmm. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David.
He did what now?
He stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David and his garments, even to his sword and to his bow and to his girdle. And David went out wheresoever Saul sent him and behaved himself wisely. Saul set him over the men of war. He was accepted in the sight of all people, also in the sight of Saul's servants. And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out of all cities of Yeshua singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabrets with joy and with instruments of music.
Yeah, that's good. So, the first thing we look at is, where is it at, man? In verse 1, man, give him that word for knit one more time, man. We're going to talk about verse 4 real quick, and get to Psalms 82.
Yeah, that's the same word for bind.
So that's knit, to be one, to be a cod. Now, there's a reason for that. Ephesians 4:1 on general principle.
I, therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called.
That's right.
With all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Ruach and the bond of Shalom. There's one body.
He said endeavoring to keep the what?
the unity of the Ruach and the bond of Shalom.
Tell them what unity and bond did, man. We could read Psalms 133 one more time on general principle.
Unity is henotes, that is unity or agreement, oneness.
Agreement. And he said he loved them as his own soul. They're at an agreement. You know what I mean? Since we read this the other day, I read it again. Hebrews 8 and 6. And then Psalms 133 and 1 on general principle. Because Psalms 133 ain't that long.
But now have you obtained a more excellent ministry?
Obtained a more what?
Excellent ministry.
How that happen?
By how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant.
Mediator of a what?
Of a better covenant.
Why is that?
Which was established upon better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, there should no place have been sought for the second.
That's right.
For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, and I'll make a new covenant with the house of Yasharal.
Not according
to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. Because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord.
Tell them what regarded them not.
Regarded as Amaleo, to be careless of, to neglect.
He ain't fooled with them. You know what I'm talking about? Now, it's another word in Jeremiah 31, explicitly in Hebrew. I'll tell you.
Okay, cut it out. Cut it out. Oh,
No, I just said, no. They covenant, they break. Go to verse 32, give them break. Even though I was a husband unto them. Peace, brother Omar, man.
Break is harar, to break, to frustrate, to make ineffectual.
They frustrated the covenant. Nevertheless, shalom, brother Ernest, man. Come on back to Hebrews 8, what did you read?
Verse 10.
Hebrews 8 and 10.
He said, for this is the covenant that I'll make with the house of Yasharal after those days, saith the Lord. I'll put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. I'll be to them Alahym, they shall be to me a people. They shall not teach every man his neighbor, every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I'll be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more.
No more.
And that he saith, a new covenant, he hath made the first old. Now that which decay and wax old is ready to vanish away.
What up? So that's it. So now I want you to come back to Ephesians 4 and 1. Start all over again. That's when you look at being in the bond of the covenant or being in agreement, being one with each other, so on and so forth.
So I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Ruach and the bond of
Keep
Shalom.
the unity of the Ruach and the bond of Shalom.
And that word for bond was sudesmos. That was that which binds together, a band, a bond.
That's the same thing you seeing in Samuel. They bonded together.
He said, there's one body, one Ruach, even as you are called in one hope of your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one Alahym and Abba of all, who is above all and through all and in you all.
So this is taking us back to this point that we're looking at in 1 Samuel 18. You can run 1 Samuel 18 and 1 more time. You get to verse 4, and I got a question for you.
And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul.
Loved him as his own soul.
And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more.
Now, see, Paul, we talked about that because of Mashiach. Say, Alahym so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. He loved you as his own soul. That's why he said, greater love had no, so long, Sister Regina, have no man in this, that a man lay his life down for a friend. You know what I'm talking about? He got to love you as his own soul to go perform that work. Continue.
And when I let him go home to his father's house, then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him. He stripped
himself of the what?
Of the robe that was upon him.
And what else?
And gave it to David.
What else he gave?
Even to his sword.
To his what?
To his sword.
And what else?
To his bow.
What else?
To his girdle.
Now, I asked you gentlemen this question, and you ladies also. What does it signify of him giving him all of these things? I mentioned the robe, but what does the rest of it signify? With it giving him all these things, you can tell him what the the garments, the sword, the bow, and the girdle if you want.
Garments is mine. That is measure, cloth, or garment. Outer garment.
Outer garment. Go ahead.
The sword is kared. That's your sword.
That's a sword.
And then bow is kesheth, a bow, whether for hunting, for battle, for bowman, bow, figuratively of might.
Mm-hmm.
And then girdle is pagor, that is clothed, girded, or girded with.
Now, with that being said, Shalom, Brother Marvin, what does this represent? What he gave to him. We mentioned the robe. You should be able to pick up on the rest. Oh, his protection? Oh, not in this situation. But yet it is. But yet it ain't, because you got to get more detail. Sippy, you don't know?
I was going to say, does this go along with Ephesians 6, about verse 10?
Yes, it would. Ephesians 6 and 10. Indeed, sir. Go ahead.
It say, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Peace, each man.
Put on the whole armor of Alahym, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Alahym.
See, Paul, who David was wrestling with? Because he wasn't wrestling with flesh and blood, I can tell you that. If you got eyes to see and ears to hear and the heart to understand. Because who was he wrestling with? Saul. And where was Saul at? And tell him what principalities mean, man. After that, we get Psalms 144, man. Keep it on top.
Principalities is arcane. That is beginning or origin, or the thing or person that commences, the first person or thing in a series, the leader.
The who?
The leader.
My God, today. And what was Saul? What was the other thing before principality, man?
They got flesh and blood before that.
Go ahead and read it again, because I don't forget.
Therefore, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
And against what else?
Against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
See, the thing that we don't be wanting to accept, because the sister said this earlier, right? Because she asked this question about why did the Greeks not seem to practice polygyny in contrast to the Hebrews? So I ask you the same question. Why do you believe that the Greeks didn't practice polygyny like that in contrast to what the Hebrews were doing? Because I can tell you what I told her. Because the niggas was faggots. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't even say that to be disparaging, funny, humorous, or nothing. Those people were homosexuals. You know what I'm saying? I just seen a Navy sniper, the black dude. Some of y'all, if you be on YouTube Reels, you probably seen the black dude with the locks that used to be special forces. And he said when they were in Afghanistan, that's what they found out. That most of those Afghani men are homosexuals and that they only use women for procreation. You know what I'm talking about? And that's the same thing that the Greeks were on specifically. And also the Romans to a certain extent. I know we can clown around about it when Christmas come around, but that's what they were doing on Saturnalia. They exchanged gifts with their homosexual lovers and then had sex with them and then went home and beat up their wife. Because the Greco-Roman culture was homosexual because they believed that women were intellectually inferior. So therefore, their only cause, rhyme, reason, and purpose was for procreation, and that the only place that they could get pleasure from was from another man. I'm not saying this to be funny. You don't believe me? Look it up. You know what I'm talking about? Because I knew this before I got in the word. This ain't even difficult information to find. You know what I'm talking about? You know who I'm talking about? That? Yeah, man. I just seen him probably about a couple weeks ago say that they ran into that when they went into Afghanistan, that all those men are gay. So when you come back around and you look at what they call misogyny or the patriarchy, quote unquote, That's all Greco-Roman stuff because Greco-Roman men. Hey, no. Greco-Roman men don't like women. You know what I'm saying? Not in that capacity. And unfortunately, in this modern society, black women like to use those talking points to put that on black men and say, oh, y'all don't like women. No, it's not that the dudes don't like women because they ain't been around white men to find out that they really don't like women, that they really are gay. Now, there are some black dudes out here who have latent homosexual tendencies, and they're lashing out at women is because they can't be out here openly with a man. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But she mentioned that, so you saying some of the Hebrews who were Hellenized were gay too? Shoot, probably were. I mean, when you look in the text and you see that these boys with I'm not one of the, you got some brews that will try to act like Hebrews ain't never did any of these things in this book. Yeah, I mean, shoot, man, we ain't got to look at that man say he had to put sodomites out the land. You punks everywhere. That's literally what a whoremonger is by definition. You know what a whoremonger is by definition? A male temple prostitute. You know what I'm saying? And they weren't prostituting to women exclusively. I can tell you that. So the aspect of homosexual men, that's why he said, hold on, let me get this. The niggas be trying to act like this stuff don't be in the book. And it be in the book. You know what I'm saying? I know the stuff with the Benjamites is the easiest one to roll to. You know what I'm saying? But we don't want to go that route.
They got the Romans 1 and about 26. Where it started at.
Go to Deuteronomy 23 and 17 and then read what it says.
It says, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Yasharah, nor a sodomite of the sons of Yasharah.
Now, whore is Zanah, that's a harlot. There'll be no unfaithful women. Give them the definition of harlot and sodomite, man, or whore and sodomite. I don't want nobody to think we're making something up.
Kedeshah, that is a
female
temple prostitute.
Female temple prostitute. You won't be around here selling your coochie for your God, ho.
And then sodomite is Kadash Hussein, is male temple prostitute.
You won't be selling your booty for your God. You ain't finna be doing that. So the aspect of hold on, let me get y'all some background information on this. Maybe y'all not familiar with this. You familiar with this, Doris? You ever heard of a male temple prostitute? No, I say, do you know about it? Do you know about them boys pop, locking, and dropping it? Yeah, that's what they were doing. Listen, so a male temple prostitute was a part of the forbidden Canaanite religious practices, particularly associated with the fertility cults for gods like Baal and Asherah. Now, some people say that their exact role and nature of the temple prostitution varies among specific scholars, but they perform ritual sex acts in pagan temples. So they were involved in cultic prostitution and then ritualized sexual activity. See, the scholars like to debate because they don't want to come out and tell you what the people was in there doing. See if we can find something here real quick. This is the time I should. Well, I didn't know I was going to go in this direction because I know Mama Steph got some books on it off the top. This is the things that were going on in Succoth Benoth because that was a male temple prostitute or a prostitution type place. Now, again, I won't just tell you that it was homosexual because it was heterosexual and homosexual behavior going on, and this is why your law say you will not bring the price of a whore into the house of Yahuwah. Let's find that verse real fast. I think it's in Deuteronomy. You knew that he told you couldn't bring the price of a whore in here?
That's verse 18.
Go ahead and read it for him. Deuteronomy 24 and 18. No, 23 and 18.
It said, you should not bring the hire of a whore or the price of a dog into the house of your Alahym for any vow.
For any who?
For any vow.
My God, today.
For even both these are abominations unto Yahuwah your Alahym.
I tell them what price, whore, what the other word was?
I think you got hire of a whore and price of a dog.
Yeah, and that dog. You the dog, nigga. A dog is somebody gonna be contemptible if it's Kalel.
And hire is ethnon. That is hire of a prostitute.
So whatever that you paid that prostitute, don't bring that in here. Don't bring that in here.
And then this whore is Zanah.
That's unfaithful. You know what I'm talking about? And also, harlot was one of the definitions for it beforehand. You know what I'm saying? And it also deals with fornication and the dealing with idolatrous deities. You understand?
And price is makar, price or higher, reward or gain. And dog is kaleb. A dog, literal, or you got the pagan practice of male coat prostitutes.
Pagan practice of male coat prostitutes. You can't bring it. Listen. How can I frame this in a modern sense? It'd be akin, except for the prostitute part. It would be akin to people who make money from selling drugs and want to come and pay tithes, offerings, whatever the case with that money. That man don't want that. You know what I'm talking about? Or you work at the strip club and you come in here. That man don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Even more so if you prostituting. That man don't want that. You read them, I think it's Leviticus 19:29. That man don't want that. It's in my brain because I seen the lady post something about Tiana Taylor talking about look at her thanking God and Jesus elevated her after her divorce, and she always mentioned God, and somebody told her that's not how God operates, and there was none but women on there talking about, see, that's all religious people. Nah, ho, that's not how that man operates. Talking about she's gender fluid, sexually fluid, divorced, all that type of stuff. Man, that man don't stamp that type of behavior, man. And you think because somebody say, I want to thank Jesus, and then you see them increasing monetarily, that means God with them. And that goes into that verse when that man says they think gain is godliness. They have a perverse and a corrupt mind and stay away from them. That's not how you judge godliness. You don't judge godliness by what people don't have, and you don't judge godliness by what people have. If you have that type of thought process creeping your brain, just know you distorting the word and you corrupt in the inward parts. Because that's what the book says. That's not my personal opinion. I don't give a damn if you're offended by it, don't like it. Take that up with the Lord when you see it. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's not how he judged godliness, man. He never has. You know what I'm talking about? Because there's been a lot of rich, wicked bastards in this book. And there's been a lot of poor righteous men in this book. And there's been rich righteous men in this book. Because we had this conversation earlier because they were talking about dowries. And the chick said Jacob was poor because he had to work for Rachel. I said, that man wasn't poor. That man was rich. His daddy was rich. His granddaddy was rich. He wasn't. Well, why he had to work for him? Because that was the custom of the time. Or I just would have paid for it. Because you taking the thought process of 2026 into play. That man back then, man, if you want my daughter, this is what you got to do. I don't want your money. I want you to work for my daughter for 7 years. That's take it or leave it.
He needs some labor.
He didn't even need no laborers. That's just his request. The same way that Saul said, hey, man, bring me 200 foreskins. That's the dowry. I think a lot of people get dowry confused that it's just something monetary. The dowries was whatever the father requested. You can pay it or you don't. As simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. And another thing, too, because, you know, some people be like, men ain't paying dowries now. You don't pay a dowry to the woman because people get upset about that. It ain't even the fact that just that she's not a virgin. If she's not in her father's house, you don't pay a dowry. You don't pay a dowry for a woman who don't live with her father. How you gonna pay a dowry to a woman who you finna marry? That means you paid yourself. That's retarded. You know what I'm saying? That woman lived in a, see, that's a, you know, the virgin part is the part that people focus on. But, you know, I always mention to you the other part. She lived in her father's house. So that's agreement between that man or that man and his family with her father. You know what I'm talking about? So that means that woman was living in her father's house. Man, you can't be talking about you've been living on your own for 12, 13 years and think somebody can pay a dowry for you. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. You know what I'm saying? But some people take it, oh, you don't want to pay a dowry as if you don't want to have a covenant with a woman, because that's what these niggas be doing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these dudes just be taking the practices that they had in the world with women and then try to use word to justify it. That's why a lot of them believe that Joseph impregnated Mary and then was going to put Mary away for the same baby that he put in her, because that's how these niggas live. Because that ain't never make sense to me. Why would I put my wife away if I got her pregnant? That don't even make common sense. That's not logical in any shape, form, or fashion. If you're a just man, if you're a righteous man, and you see your old lady pregnant, and you know you slid up in her, you know you did it. You know what? I ain't gonna make her a public spectacle. I'm gonna put her away privately. Come on, blood. Come on, man. Listen, this goes also in the part that people don't know the culture, because how do people live? Once you were betrothed, that was your wife. Now, whether you laid with her or not and consummated it, that's up to you. That's what Paul referring to in 1 Corinthians 7. But you ain't commit no sin if you laid with your betrothed wife. That's already your wife, my nigga. So for them to think that you can impregnate a woman and put her away, bro, I can't even make this up, man. I think I told y'all about this. Hey, no, sir. This Hebrew dude came in here, man, was putting a bad name on this lady. Now, she was a simpleton, because she 40 plus years old and had sex with a dude within a month or so of knowing him. That's crazy. Word or not, that's insane. You know what I'm talking about? To be acting like somebody did you wrong. No, you was hot to try, and he was willing to pour some water on that fire. But it's the crazy part. He got the woman pregnant. You know what that nigga said, man? This nigga said this out loud to us, by the way. I think the replay still exists. That man said, you know, how I know she was pregnant? She had a big belly when I met her. I ain't laughing because he said that. I'm laughing because he said that and expected us to go for it. That man say, man, I just laid in the bed with her. She was in her nightclothes. We ain't do nothing, no. Come on, bro. But you sending this woman to your house while you in the hospital going through your unmentionables to bring you some clothes, man. That man literally said that. He said, no, she had a big belly when I met her. I said, boy, you hell, boy. He did eventually come back around and say, you know, I was wrong for lying and saying that about that woman. Sir, we already knew you were lying. Because that's a nigga lying if you ever hear one. You understand me? I know she was pregnant. She had a big belly when I met her. That's how y'all got to get them niggas, let it stay in shape. They can't never say that to you. That nigga pulled one on that one, boy. That nigga pulled one then. Also, if the father was dead to the nearest male kin like Esther, that is correct. That's wild, bro. That man, I still trip the fact that man said that out loud. That man said that. And the sad part was he said it seriously. Like he wasn't joking. He was so enraptured with the lie, trying to sell us the lie, that I think he literally convinced himself that this was a right thing to say. But come on, man. Leviticus 19:29. You better be careful out here.
You can't tell.
That boy said he couldn't tell. That boy said that joint. He said, man, I couldn't tell. Man, she had a big belly when I met her. I said, Lord have mercy. Huh?
Say both are foolish.
Yes. Oh, she definitely foolish because she got a second. My dog took. Well, her children grown.
For him to even say that, oh, she had a big belly.
Oh, this was a grown man in his 40s.
I'm saying he a grown man in his 40s. He foolish too.
Oh, we know he was. You know what I'm talking about? The difference is very few people would have told that woman that she was stupid too. You know what I'm saying? And my dog did tell her she was stupid too. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, yeah, you good and dumb. Because that happens a lot. Because I mentioned that yesterday, man. Like, I get it that dudes be running game to get yams. You know, I get that. I said, but we're not dealing with people who in this thing, man. They were talking about polygyny to be exact. Like, who in their teens or early 20s. These are big grown rusty people. You know what I'm talking about? 35, 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? Got grown children, got multiple children. Man, ain't nobody running no game on you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going for that. Y'all are grown people. You know what you're doing. You're trying to run a hustle or whatever it is you're trying to pull. And not every time, but a lot of times when it don't go the way you planned it, now it's a problem. Now that ain't, because can't nobody trick you into being no third wife, man. Maybe when you 18 to 22 years old, but not in your 30s, man. And certainly not in your 40s. You was horny or you was looking for somebody to throw you a life raft, and that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? And nobody wants to acknowledge the fact that, yes, some of these women be horny too. You know what I'm saying? Or some of them looking for a bailout plan. $19.29 Leviticus.
Say, do not prostitute your daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness.
Give him peace, brother Nate, man. Give him prostitute, whore.
Prostitute is halal, to profane, defile, pollute, desecrate.
Don't desecrate or defile your daughter or make her common. Because that's what profane mean, to make her common. This is one of the parts that we don't want to look at, because you see prostitute and you think about selling your body. But this is talking about selling you in the form of giving yourself over to desires, making yourself common. Don't make your daughter common. You know what make a woman common? When she tooting and booting to any and everybody, that make her regular. And the reality is, especially in that time period in history, ain't nothing special about you now. I know we don't like to hear that. It's just the reality of the situation. I know some people be like, what about the men? This is not something that he's stating in regards to men. Because he said, don't prostitute your daughter. This is something that he's saying to men, to be protective of your daughter, to do not make her common. You know what I'm saying? Remember, he told that in Ezekiel when he said that about the priests, that they weren't making a difference between that which is holy and that which is profane. There's things that are to be set apart, and then there's things that are to be common. Same way he told the high priest told David, I ain't got no common bread here. Just regular bread. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be a set apart people. He didn't want, because he said if this happens, this is what happens. You did? Go ahead, man. Give him what lest the land fall in the whoredom.
Yeah, whoredom is zina. Yeah.
And it leads to unfaithfulness. That's the key component. See, and we talk about this Wednesday, right? People get caught up on the sexual act. It's not the sexual act. It is the emotional and mental toll that it will take on you, because it will lead to unfaithfulness, because you'll be a seeker of pleasure. And this is what the Canaanites were doing. He didn't want you to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. It ain't no deeper than that. You know what I'm talking about? Some people look, oh, it's so pressing. No, man. It's not how he wanted people to be kicking their game in his land. Y'all not finna be in here doing that. That's why he say don't bring the price of a dog or price of a whore. Them boys bring that stuff and offer that money up to their guys. I don't want that. Y'all should know that from dealing with Cain and Abel. Yahuwah Alahym don't take any and everything that people offer. You understand what I'm telling you? That man don't do that. That man don't do that. And this is what people get in. They think they can buy their way in. You know what I'm saying? That no matter what you... This is how people get caught up, because this is how, at least with black folks. Because the white church side of things is the white church side of things. You know what I'm saying? Because they come with that same type of game. They just frame it differently. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to frame a quote-unquote prosperity gospel to black people because you're already financially downtrodden in general. You know what I'm saying? Peace, Brother Joseph, man. When you're dealing with a financially downtrodden people in general, shalom, Sister Gwen. Leading with God gonna bless you if you do this and do that, and you already looking for money because you're poor, you know what I'm saying, or struggling, or lower middle class, or you have a desire to ascend to the upper middle class or upper class, it's easier to sell that to you. See, white people are not necessarily poor per se, at least not in their mind. You know what I'm saying? Let me say it like that. So when you take that into account, you feel me? They got to sell the prosperity thing to them differently. You got to sell it to them differently. You know what I mean? We talk about it all the time. White people got programming. Black people got programming. You know what I'm saying? Asian people got programming. Indian people got programming. And the programming with the word and the denominations that they deal with are all different. You know what I'm saying? It's all different. What you going to get at Kenneth Copeland Church ain't go what you going to get at New Birth with Jamal Bryant. It's not what you're going to get with Hips. You know what I'm saying? It ain't what you're going to get with him. Now I was talking to somebody yesterday. I don't know about the dude like that, but they say, it's a, what they call it, Church 2819. They say, bro, don't be on that. Not 1122. This is in Atlanta.
Oh.
This is a black pastor. Cause,
you talking about with Anthony Matthews?
Yeah. Because IUIC called themselves running up on him. Like they called themselves running up on Gino. All they do is post up outside this man's church and then, he's scared to come outside. Why would I come out here and talk to you? Look how you behaving yourself. You thought that was going to get my attention? You thought I was going to entertain that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know too much about him. I see people
I seen
really like him. I
clips though.
don't know nothing about it. I don't be knowing them. Like I seen these people, but I don't know who these people is. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know the dude Brian Corn because my sister pastor used to beef with him. I didn't know he had a congregation here in Jacksonville. Hell, I didn't know he was from Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? He gave a few false prophecies a time or two. One time, I think he prophesied the Cleveland Indians was going to win the World Series or some junk, and it didn't happen. And he came up with some old Bo Rickle junk to justify that. But you say you think he's a Trinitarian? He may be. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I was telling the girl yesterday. Like, I'm like, I don't know the dude. She say he's solid. She say I consider him to be my pastor. Hey, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? I be like, I ain't gonna be one like, oh, that nigga wicked as hell. They keep the Sabbath on Sunday, man. I don't be tripping. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn. That's not even something I'm finna sit here and argue about. You know what I mean? Because I'm already going into that. That's what type of time you're on. Mika says she doesn't listen to some of his sermons. Well, you'd have to be the one to speak on what you took from it, because I don't have a desire to delve into it, because I think the only reason why people would want to listen to somebody else's teachings or whatever the case may be is because you're looking for something that you don't agree with so you can have something to say. And I'm not one of the people. Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
I'll say from the few that I done seen of him, he wasn't saying nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's what my people said, man. And shoot, I said, hey, man, I don't disagree with it. I mean, hey, you say he feel like he's saying something right, then it is what it is. You see what I'm saying?
That's just from what I seen. I can't speak on the entirety.
Yeah, man. That's okay, what it is. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, what we holding, man? We need to go back to Ephesians 6.
Yeah, we ain't finished. Sure.
Yeah, you come out of verse 10. We'll hit Psalms 144 in a minute. Yeah, but these people be out here. Not in a minute. I'm trying to think of some people, man. People, TD Jakes, people like that. I think TD Jakes don't necessarily give the full black church experience like that no more. You know what I'm saying? But no, I mentioned it Brian Corn because they say that this boy misfiled his taxes and hid money. So then when hold on, y'all got to hear this here because this nigga crazy. Y'all got to hear what this nigga did, man. This nigga deserved to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't because, you don't believe in his doctrine or nothing like that. When you hear what this man did, he deserved to go to prison. So this is what they say this damn fool did. He faces up to 3 years in federal prison for trying to duck a tax obligation that totaled about $1.5 million. You know what I'm saying? Now, they say he got church locations in Jacksonville, Houston, and Charlotte. You say, but services are not being held in Jacksonville because of upcoming construction. The church operated in Jacksonville since 2016. He's 37 years old. Says he has a following of 300,000 people. They say the U.S. Attorney's Office say he filed a tax return in 2016 and reported $1.4 million in income and taxes due of more than $600,000. That's almost half the bread. Lord have mercy. The release said Karn didn't pay that money and filed an amended return that reduced his reported income by $1.3 million. So he dropped it down from I made 1.4 to 100,000. Well, you going to jail. The release said Karn hired a new accountant for that reduced return and gave the accountant a false backdated employment agreement that showed him earning $120,000 yearly with a housing allowance of another $24,000. Well, how much money these churches bringing in to give a nigga $24,000 a year for this so you can pay your rent? That's amazing. In the following years, Karn filed other tax returns that also underreported his income, and then he stopped filing tax returns at all in 2020. And he just said, bump it, I ain't filing no more. You know what I'm saying? And then they say they tried to collect the back taxes, and he owed him anywhere from $500,000 to 1 point. See, he deserved to go to prison. You can't file a tax return for 1.4 million and then try to change it and say it's 100,000. You asking to go to jail. You asking to go to jail. And then to just say, bumping, I ain't filing no taxes at all is wild. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga, that's crazy though, man. But you know why he did it. That boy ain't think he was gonna have to pay all the taxes. Them people told him, oh, but we need them 600 rights. And they said, oh, no. Oh, I need an accountant who gonna lie for me. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna lie, boy. If I made $1.4 million and you tell me 60, boy, I'd be sick in my stomach. I heard a dude explain it, man. You know, when you own a business, you know, you get your money, you spend your money, you pay Uncle Sam last. You know what I'm talking about? So you got now, of course, you can set it up to pay him quarterly, but the gist of what the dude was saying is that when you work for yourself, you don't have to pay them first. But when you work for somebody, Uncle Sam get his off the top. Like it's here, shaka, let me get that. All y'all know that you done got a paycheck and you like, God damn it. Where my money went? And that's all your tax return is they took too much money from you and they giving it back. That's why it's called a tax return. You know what I'm talking about? Let me return some of this tax money. You feel me? You big that junk it's a dirty game, man. It's a dirty game. Mika, what you thought about the stuff you heard from that gentleman? Go ahead and Ephesians 6.
Say, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Alahym, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Alahym, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand.
All to stand.
Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate.
Have your loins girded about with what?
With truth.
See what he gave him, right? Gave him his girdle, didn't it? So in this instance, that girdle, at least in this, in the contrast, is representative of truth. Give him truth in the Greek.
Aletheia, that what is true in any matter under consideration, truly in truth, according to truth, of a truth, and reality.
Mika says she likes his aspects of his messages, but there's doctrinal disparities. Which, of course, if he Christian leaning, there's definitely going to be some.
What is true in things appertaining to Alahym, the duties of man, moral, and
the things that pertain to your duties to God. You know what I'm saying? Or the things that are just, right, and true. Or ma, if you would. Continue this.
He said, having on a breastplate of righteousness and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of shalom.
That's right.
Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Ruach.
Take the who?
The sword of the Ruach.
And that's what he gave him too. Gave him that sword too, anime. Take the sword of the who?
Of the Ruach.
What you gonna do with it?
Which is the word of Alahym.
Take that word with you. So when you sit back and you look at it, man, and this is pertaining to the new covenant as far as the testimony is concerned, with Jonathan giving this to David. Now this is a representative of Yahushua giving this to you. I'm going to give you my garment or my robe, which is the Ruach. I'm going to gird you your loins with truth, and I'm going to give you this sword, which is the word, and it'll be with you. And therefore you can go out and war. But we're not warring against flesh and blood, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. You know what I'm saying? Because he said, if my kingdom was of this world, my servants would fight. He said, but my kingdom is not from this. It's not what he's leading to. So with that being said, go back to Proverbs chapter 6. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Lord willing to come to mind if I do.
I think it's just Psalms.
Yeah, 144. That's where he said, I taught my fingers to fight. But we can read it though. Psalms 144, man. And 1 is fine. Because that's what the representative of the sword, you know, the girdle, the breastplate. Of course, he told you that, you know, once the word is in your heart, you'll have no need for no man to teach you, because now God himself will be dwelling in you and you dwelling in God, and he will be teaching you. And he's going to teach you how to tussle. But see, what's going to teach you how to tussle is like what we were talking about last week. When you resist the devil steadfast in the faith with the word, that's what's going to teach you how to fight. You know what I'm saying? You can't fight Satan with your fist, because Satan ain't trying to fight you with his fist. Like, you know, I seen this the post that always come up again. Well, why God ain't just kill the devil to get ways? And you can't be upset when you see people say stuff like that, because they don't be knowing. They don't know how the operation work, because they think, oh, just kill Satan, it's over with. Because people have made Satan into a character in this narrative that is grossly more important than what he actually is. The same way somebody say, oh, Satan, Satan gonna be torturing people in hell. Satan ain't gonna be torturing nobody. Because nowhere in the text does it tell you that Satan gonna be tormented. But that's what people tell you, that Satan is a tormentor. Satan don't torment nobody. Satan gonna be burning in hell just like anybody who with him. But I met a dude up. I said, yeah, man, Satan gonna be in the valley of Hinnom just like everybody else. He said, valley of Hinnom? Why you just can't speak English? That's why people don't understand the Bible. No, you don't understand the Bible because you don't even take the time to even apply your mind to what you're looking at. Now, of course, it would also take the application of faith and obedience, but that's another conversation. I'm just speaking in general. Because I told him, Hinnom means lamentation. He was like, lamentation? I'm like, yeah, bro, lamentation. Like, names have meanings. You know what I'm saying? See, now, like most people, you just name your child something. Them people name their child based off an action. There was something that went on that say, you know what? Okay, my husband will praise me now. I will name him Judah. You know what I'm saying? That's how that went down. The same way how Benjamin got his name, because his mama died. And then Jacob changed and said, no, this is the son of my right hand versus the son of my sorrows. You know what I'm saying? This action necessitate that. Cities that in the text that you see, guys. And it's not just with the Hebrews, man. This is any culture of people. This is the norm. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a city like Jacksonville. There's no meaning into that. They just want to name it after Andrew Jackson and just put Ville behind it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cities in America ain't really no thought went into that. Some of them, a lot of them did. That's not to be fair. Most people, you just name your child something because you think the name cute. You don't even know what it means. You know what I'm saying? So you just naming your child any doggone thing. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just generically, like I told you, I was in prison with a dude named Heman. I know full well his mama and them dad couldn't have known what Heman meant. But you just naming him Heman because it's in the Bible. Let's see what Heman means, because I can't remember. I told you I thought his name was He-Man. That nigga was like, no, it's Heman. It's in the Bible. I said, man, I don't know nothing about nothing in the Bible. Man. I was like, your mama named you He-Man? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I really thought, and I wasn't being funny. That just shows you at that stage of my life how biblically ignorant I was. It means faithful. You know what I'm saying? Heman means this person is faithful. Maybe his mama knew that. Maybe she didn't. Maybe it's representative of his character. You know what I'm talking about? But that's usually what people name something. You either wanted that to be representative of that child's character, or something happened, an event happened surrounding the birth of that child, which necessitated that. Because does anybody remember what city the Valley of Hinnom is? It's in, I should say. It's also called, that valley is also called by that name also. Do you know what they did in the Valley of Hinnom? You know what they did in there? They sacrificed children to Molech. That's what happened in the Valley of Hinnom. Children were sacrificed to Molech there. It's south of Jerusalem. You may know it as the Valley of Jehoshaphat. You know what I'm talking about? But it also goes by another name that is not Jehoshaphat. Darius just mentioned Jehoshaphat. But it goes by another name in the city that the valley is actually in. And sometimes the valley is called by the name of that city. Some of you who've been around here for a while, if you recall, we actually went through the text and pinpointed where the Valley of Hinnom is. You know what I'm talking about? That's the lake of fire for those of you who don't know. That's where the lake of fire is going to be at. I'm mentioning that because in Psalms 82, he talked about judging. You see, it's a setup. You know what I'm saying? You know, a segue, if you will. You know what?
Good though, is it?
Huh? Yes, Valley of Tophet. Valley of Tophet. And Valley of no, nobody said Tophet yet, Stan. Doris just said it. And you know what Valley of Tophet means? Tophet, I should say. Place of fire. That's literally what it means. It's the place of fire. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to Yahushua Son of Nun, chapter 15, verse 7. As I'm mentioning these things, so we might as well run it down to familiarize people with it. Because since I'm referencing it, I mean, I intend to go this route. but it would be irresponsible to reference something that somebody here don't really know what they're talking about.
You said 15?
Yeah, 15 and 7. For those of you who don't know, I want you to read verse 1 so you can see clearly what part of the land that we're in. This is Yahushua son of Nun, chapter 15 and verse 1.
This then was the lot of the tribe of the children of Yehuda by their families.
To the border of
Edom, the wilderness of Zin, toward the uttermost part of the south coast.
I just wanted you to know that this place is in Judah. You know what I'm talking about? So now go to verse 7.
And the border went up towards the Bur from the valley of Achor, and so northward, looking toward Gilgal, that is before the going up to Adumim, which is in the south side of the river.
Mm-hmm.
And the border passed toward the water of En-Shemesh, and the goings thereof was into En-Rogel.
Mm-hmm.
And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hanam unto the south side of the Jebusite.
To the valley of who?
Into the valley of the son of Hanam, unto the south side of the Jebusite. The same is Jerusalem. And
the same is what?
Is Jerusalem. And the border went up to the top of the mountain that lie before the valley of Hanam westward, which is the end of the valley of the giants northward.
Now listen, now go to verse 63. So he just told you this is Jebusites. The valley of Hinnom is near Jerusalem. This is laying out for a second, because when we get to Ezekiel 20 and Isaiah 66, it'll be clear to you. Now remember, Hamnon means lamentation. So when we get to places where the Lord say, and there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth, you will see why he would be making his statement. When we read Ezekiel 20 and Isaiah 66, and you see Tophet is the place of fire, and you see why he's making those statements, so you understand. Because people are, I ain't no late man. That man telling you where it's at. Ain't none of this stuff hidden. He tell you where this stuff at. He tell you what he gonna do. He tell you how he gonna do it. People just don't pay attention to it and feel like, oh, that's Greek mythology or that's Christian. Nah, nigga, this in the book, boy. You hear me? Yeah, man, it's real. It ain't no joke. Come on with it. Verse 63, listen what he says.
For the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Yehuda did not drive them out. But the Jebusites dwell with the children of Yehuda at Jerusalem until this day.
I just wanted you to see that that's in Jerusalem because it's in Judah. Yahushua son of Nun, chapter 18, verse 14. Now 15, if you would.
And the border was drawn thence and compassed the corner of the sea southward from the hill that lie before Beth Horon southward. And the goings out thereof was at Kirjath Baal, which is Kirjath Jearim, a city of the children of Yehuda.
The city of the children of who?
Of Yehuda.
Okay.
Saying the south quarter was from the end of Kirjath Jearim, and the border went out on the west and went out to the well of waters of Nephtoah, and the border came down.
Man, what you reading, boy?
Joshua son of Nun, chapter 18, verse 15.
Well, that don't sound like no 18 and 15, boy. Go ahead. I might be tripping. You might have read verses ahead of that. Yeah, you did. You read 14. Go ahead. That's what threw me out.
Okay, they said the border came down to the end of the mountain that lie before the valley of the son of Hanam, and which is in the valley of the giants on the north, and descended to the valley of Hanam to the side of Jebus on the south, and descended to En-Rogel.
Stop. This is in the land. Again, this is in the south. I want you to keep this in your mind that this is in the south. All this stuff is not meaningless information, because if you don't store this up in your brain, you're not going to understand what Ezekiel is going to say later. Because Ezekiel is going to say something in this regard. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 23. Now you can see what went down in the valley of Hinnom. You go over there far? 2 Kings chapter 23, verse 7, since we were talking about temple prostitutes.
And he break down the houses of the Sodomites that were by the house of Yahuwah.
Matter of fact, back that up. I want you to hear everything they had going on, man. Read verse 4, man.
And the king commanded Hilkiah the high priest and the priests of the second order and the keepers of the door to bring forth out of the temple of Yahuwah all the vessels that were made for Baal.
That's right.
And for the grove and for all the hosts of Shamaim. And
Go
he
ahead.
burned them without Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron and carried the ashes of them unto Bethel.
And he put down what?
The idolatrous priests
Whom the kings
of Yehuda had ordained to burn incense. And
listen, the aspect of hiring false priests, Shalom says Rose, things that's not a new thing. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead.
To burn incense in the high places in the cities of Yehuda and in the places round about Jerusalem.
They also
burned incense on the ball,
to the
sun,
to the
moon,
to the
planets, and to all the hosts of Shamayim.
When they tell you planets, that's the constellations, not planets in the context that you know it. Read them the definition of the word. And the word and the definition. I'm just making sure that you know that. Because planets was in ancient times, they would call constellations planets. You know what I'm saying? Henceforth is how the word itself, translated wise, but they weren't referring to what we call planets now. Go ahead.
That is Mezalah, constellations.
That's it.
And it's like maybe signs of the zodiac.
Yeah, the signs of the zodiac. That's what they're talking about, the stars in heaven. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, of course, they could have put constellation. They could, but some words are not a one-for-one translation from Hebrew to English, man. It just is what it is. Go ahead. Verse 6, 2 Kings 23.
And he brought out the grove from the house of Yahuwah without Jerusalem unto the brook Kidron, and burned at the brook Kidron, and stamped it small to powder, and cast the powder thereof upon the graves of the children of the people.
That man burned down all their idols and then spread the ashes on their graves of the people who worshiped.
And he burnt down the houses of the Sodomites.
Oh, not the Sodomites.
That were by the house of Yahuwah.
Boy, them boys put punks by the house, man. Boy, they put male temple prostitutes by the temple of Yahuwah, man. Them boys was slinging wee and booty hole next to this man's house, man. That's what they were doing now. And the women
wove hangings for the grove.
Did what they were doing right by the temple now.
And he brought all the priests out of the cities of Yehuda and defiled the high places where the priests had burned incense, from Geba to Beersheba, and break down the high places of the gates that were in the entering in of the gate of Yahushua, the governor of the city, which were on a man's left hand at the gate of the city. Nevertheless, the priests of the high places came not up to the altar of Yahuwah in Jerusalem, but they did eat of the unleavened bread among their brethren.
That's right.
And he defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the children of Hinnom.
What they were doing there?
That no man might make his son or daughter to pass through the fire to Molech.
My God, today. That's what they were doing there now. Now come over here to Jeremiah 7. You feel me? Pick it up about verse 27. Hold on, let me see, because I need to make sure I get Psalms 82 on the play. 7:29, man. Jeremiah 7:29. Then we've got some joints and chronicles. Go ahead.
Cut off your hair, O Jerusalem, and cast it away. Take it for lamentation on high places. For Yahuwah have rejected and forsaken the generation of his wrath.
Whoa, that's reprobate. Give him rejected there. That's being reprobate.
That is ma'az, to reject, despise, refuse.
That's the same word for reprobate. That's what it means to be reprobate, to be rejected. Go ahead.
Say, for the children of Yehuda have done evil in my sight, saith Yahuwah. They have set their abominations in the house which is called by my name, to pollute it.
And they built the what?
High places of Topheth,
which is in the what?
Valley of the son of Hinnom,
to burn their sons
and their daughters in the fire,
which I commanded them,
not
neither came into my
heart.
Therefore,
behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah.
It shall no more be called,
Topheth,
nor the valley, but the valley, the valley, the valley. For they shall do what? Till their what?
Be no place.
And the carcasses of this people
shall be meat for the fowls of Shamayim, and for the beasts of the rats, and none shall fray them away.
He said, boy, they're going to call it the valley of slaughter. Now, this is just for Yasharal. This ain't for everybody, you hear me? That's just what he said he's going to do to them there. For them. Go to Jeremiah 32, though. 32 and 33. And this would just be an event that, hey, make it 32 and 30. If you run across somebody, say, why would a loving God burn people in hell? This is what you tell them.
For the children of Yasharal and the children of Yehuda have only done evil before me from their youth.
Whoa.
For the children of
now, I want you to be clear. He's talking about Israel now. He's not talking about nobody else. He's talking about Israel now.
For the children of Yasharal have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith Yahuwah. For this city have been to me as a provocation of my anger and of my fury from the day that they built it, even unto this day, that I shall remove it from before my face. Because of all the evil of the children of Yasharal and of the children of Yehuda, which they have done to provoke me to anger, they, their kings, their princes, their priests, their prophets, and the men of Yehuda, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, they have turned unto me the back and not the face.
Now they turned to me the what?
The back and not
Boy,
the
you
face.
gave me your butt to kiss.
Though I taught them, rising up early and teaching them, yet they have not hearkened to receive instruction. But they set their abominations in the house, which is called by my name, to defile it.
And they built what?
The high places of
Which are where?
In the valley of the son of Hanam.
To cause their sons to do
And
what?
their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech, which I commanded them not. Neither came into my mind that they should do this abomination to cause Yehuda to sin.
They done caused Judah to sin. All because they worship. I just want you to understand that's what was going on in the valley of Himnon and in the city of Tophet. Them boys were passing the children in the fire to Molech. Go to Jeremiah 19:3. Go ahead with it.
And say, hear you the word of Yahuwah, O kings of Yehuda and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, Alahym Yasharal, behold, I will bring evil upon his place, and whichsoever hear his ears shall tingle. They have forsaken me.
His ears gonna do what?
Shall tingle. So because they have forsaken me and have estranged this place and have burned incense in it unto other gods.
Under other who?
Unto other gods.
What else they did?
Whom neither they nor their fathers have known.
Nor the kings.
Yehuda,
And they filled this place with what?
the blood of innocence.
What else they do?
They have built also the high places of Baal.
And to do what?
To burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind.
Therefore,
behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that this place shall no more be called Tophet.
No more be called what?
Tophet.
But nor the
valley of the son of Hanam.
But the valley of the what?
Of slaughter.
Now pause and go to Joel, chapter 3, verse 6. Now this one he gonna bring everybody into play where it's really gonna be the valley of slaughter. And then we come back to 2 Chronicles.
The children also of Yehuda and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where you have sold them, and return your recompense upon your own head.
On your own head.
I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Yehuda. They shall sell them.
I praise you.
They shall sell them to the Sabians, to the people far off. Go
ahead.
Proclaim you this among the Gentiles.
What you gonna proclaim?
Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares and the swords, your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
What else?
Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen. Gather yourselves together round about. There cause your mighty ones to come down, O Yahuwah.
Where they gonna gather at?
Let the heathen be wakened and call to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Valley of who?
Jehoshaphat.
What else?
For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
Go ahead.
Put you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full.
The press is full. Multitudes
in the valley of decision.
The valley of decision.
For the day of Yahuwah is near, and the valley of decision.
Now, of course, you know, valley of Jehoshaphat is going to be Yahuwah is judged. And what is this place? It's a valley near Jerusalem. Well, the place of the ultimate judgment, maybe the deep ravine which separates Jerusalem from the Mount of Olives through where Kendron flowed. Now, Valley of Himnon is over there by Mount Zion. You know what I'm talking about? But continue. I said, give them Valley decision.
Valley is a valley, a vale, a lowland, an open country. And decision is karutz, sharp pointed, sharp diligent, a strict decision.
A strict decision. Now, I want you to understand the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the Valley of Tophet is two different places. You know what I'm saying? The Valley of Jehoshaphat is where they meet the end. The Valley of Tophet is where they get the end. You understand? 2 Chronicles chapter 28, verse 1. After that, we'll go to 2 Chronicles 33:1 and Isaiah 33:13. Go ahead with it.
Ahaz was 20 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, but he did not that which was right in the sight of Yahuwah, like David his father. When he walked in the ways of the kings of Yasharal, and made also molten images for Balaam.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, he burned incense in the valley of the sons of Hanam, and burnt his children in the fire.
Godly.
After the abominations of the heathen, whom Yahuwah had cast out before the children of Yasharal.
He sacrificed.
Also, and burnt incense in the high places, and on the hills, and under every green tree.
Read Leviticus 18 to 21. Let's see what that say real fast, man.
And you shall not let any of your seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shall you profane the name of Yahuwah your Alahym. I am Yahuwah.
No passing your children in the fire to Molech. This is part of the reason why the Valley of Tophet is called the place of fire, because that's what they were doing there. That's why it's called the Valley of Lamentation or Weeping. You know what I'm saying? Because people were killed there. So the very thing that they were doing, that's what he gonna do to them. You understand? 2 Chronicles 33 and 1.
Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem, but did that which was evil in the sight of Yahuwah,
Indeed.
like unto the abominations of the heathen, whom Yahuwah had cast out before the children of Yasharal. For he built again the high places which Hezekiah his father had broken down, and he reared up altars for Balaam, and made groves, and worshipped all the hosts of Shamaim, and served them. Also he built altars in the house of Yahuwah, whereof Yahuwah had said, in Jerusalem shall my name be forever. And he built altars for all the hosts of Shamaim in the two courts of the house of Yahuwah.
Mm-hmm.
And he caused the children to pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hanam. Also he observed times, and used enchantments, and used witchcraft, and dealt with a familiar spirit, and with wizards. He wrought much evil in the sight of Yahuwah.
Much evil.
To provoke him to anger.
Now that's good. Now Mika says there's a Christian teacher that likens abortions to sacrifice to Molech. And what are their thoughts on that? We didn't talk about this before. I mean, that's the modern equivalent. You know what I'm talking about? Because we have to now, you know, if you know about Bohemian Grove, now they say it's a baby doll in effigy that they toss into that fire to a 20-foot tall statue of Molech in the woods of Northern California. Again, to quote Richard Milhouse Nixon, he said that's the most faggotiest goddamn thing he's ever seen in his entire life, end quote. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that to be funny, humorous, or nothing. This is an actual quote from a former U.S. president about what he saw going on in Bohemian Grove in the late 1960s or maybe early 70s. You know what I'm saying? Not making that up. So, yeah, I mean, abortions in this days and time, because they literally, if you're literally offering something to Molech, you literally have to take that child and throw them in a fire. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the literal, that's what I'm looking for. The literal following out of said ritual. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, the modern equivalent of how people look at it is you're offering it to Molech. The difference is that most abortion clinics are not willfully and wantingly going in saying we're sacrificing this child to Molech. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that we have to look about sacrifices of antiquity that are switched to modern times is that these people were intentional. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a roundabout way of doing things. They are intentional. Also, when it's saying to toss your child into Molech, it's not also talking about babies. You could be 5, you could be 10, you could be 14. You know what I'm saying? It's not mutually exclusive to small babies. It's most of the time they like to portray, you know what I'm saying, that is babies. When they say toss your children into Molech, it's a child of any age. And at least in the Hebrew paradigm, that's from birth to 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? Birth to 19 years old. He says same as holidays aren't feast of idols in modern. Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because to a certain extent, I see how we try to make the one-to-one equivalent. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say this. The people who are in power, like, when I say in power, I'm talking about in power as forth as work in spiritual wickedness. You know what I'm saying? That they would want you to indirectly worship these deities as forth as the masses as a whole. But the reality is these people were intentional. Like they intentionally knew they were going to Himnom to offer this child to Molech. Like they knew this was what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like they did this intentionally. To say, wasn't that a movie scene in House of Cards? I can't answer that because I've never seen House of Cards. So I can't answer that. I think what that movie was, what the dude who was possessed by Satan I told y'all about, man, I can't remember. Nefarious. Now, that demon or Satan that was in that man, he said for them, that was sacrificing to Molech. And that's what I would get to where I say would it be the indirect thing as forth as the powers that be putting abortion clinics everywhere and then pushing for the promotion of going to do it. But the actual woman and the actual doctor performing the procedure, that's not an offer to Molech. Because one thing you have to understand about false deities and things of this nature, they want you to willfully and wantingly offer and serve them. Now, I know like people like to say the false gods or demons. They're not. They're just the constructs of men's minds. Now, will the adversary and his minions try to influence you to be contrary to the will of God through your desire to worship nothing? Absolutely. But there's no demon behind Dagon. Dagon is nothing. You know what I'm saying? There's no demon behind Molech. Molech is nothing. You know what I'm saying? There's no demon behind any of these deities. They're nothing. Honestly, that's just Christian fanaticalism and certain stuff to have you like this, that, there, and the third to remove away the personal culpability and responsibility of what you're doing. Because ain't no demon influence you to worship no Dagon. Because we could read in that text, it wasn't no demon behind Dagon in the Philistines. Then people worship a statue that had no life in it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a statue. Dagon is a figment of your own brain. Since I said that, Psalms 115:1. You say Johnny just saw that. They had a witch in Game of Thrones telling people to burn their kids. Oh, you telling Johnny you just seen that? Yeah, which means she was telling them to offer their children to Molech. Now they slide that stuff in there, like I say, in modern times to get you to do it because it's just not seen, civilized and acceptable for you to walk to a fire and toss your kids in 2026. So the best way to get it is terminate your pregnancy. And then make the women think men are policing your bodies and you're being oppressed and repressed because you can be sexually irresponsible and then, kill the baby after the fact. You know what I'm saying? You don't even realize they're running game on you. But, it is what it is.
Not unto us, O Yahuwah, not unto us, but unto your name give esteem for your mercy and for your truth's sake. Mm-hmm. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is now their Alahym? Mm-hmm. But our Alahym is in Shamayim.
He do as he.
Whatsoever he hath pleased.
That's right.
Their idols are silver and gold.
Their idols are what?
Silver and gold.
What else?
The work of men's hands.
The work of whose hands?
Men's hands.
What else?
They have mouths, but they speak not.
And what else?
Eyes have they, but they see not.
And what else?
They have ears, but they hear not.
And what else?
Noses have they, but they smell not.
And what else?
They have hands, but they handle not.
And what else?
Feet have they, but they walk
not. And what else?
Neither speak they through their throat.
Go ahead.
Say they that make them are like unto them, so is everyone that trusts in them.
They nothing. And if you trust in it, you nothing just like them. I mean, they ain't got no life in them. You know what I'm saying? So an idol in and of itself is nothing. Ain't no demon behind no idol. That's not even necessarily a thought process that the people of antiquity had when they created these gods that they worship. You know what I'm saying? Because most of them worship creation. You know what I'm saying? They worship creation. Since I said that, Romans 1:17. Go ahead.
For therein is the righteousness of Alahym revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith.
That's right.
For the wrath of Alahym is revealed from Shamayim against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men.
That's right.
Who hold the truth in unrighteousness.
That's right.
Because that which may be known of Alahym is manifest in them, for Alahym have showed it unto them.
That's right.
For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen.
Clearly seen.
Being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Alahym had, so that they are without excuse.
Listen.
Because that when they knew Alahym, they esteemed him not as Alahym.
Not as God.
Neither were thankful, but became vain in their imagination.
Worthless in their own plots, plans, and devices.
Their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise,
they became
fools. And changed the esteem of the uncorruptible Alahym into an image made like to corruptible man.
Like corruptible man.
And and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping
Mm.
And wherefore Alahym also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
That's good. And that's part of the reason why he told you not to make these things. Don't compare me to no damn thing that's going to die and I don't die. Don't compare me to that. Now, when you turn around and you look at it from that aspect, of course, if you could imagine, you the Almighty Alahym who lives forever. As it says in Deuteronomy, I lift up my right hand and swear to myself and say, I live forever. And you're going to make an image of a dog and say, that's me? Or the image of a man and say, that's me? When man made in my image and you going to make that and say, that's me? You'll take that as disrespect. I don't disrespect me like that. But we don't look at it in that aspect. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, man, ain't no demons behind none of that stuff. Now, like I said, because unclean spirits don't operate like that, as you can see that in the text. You know what I'm talking about? They don't operate like that. They operate in the aspect of deceiving, tempting, or actually physically tormenting you if you are possessed by one. Because when you see that when Saul had an evil spirit on him, he was tormented. It took David playing on the harp for him to get some type of peace. The next time you see somebody possessed with an unclean spirit is in the New Testament, and those people are being harmed to themselves. They're being tormented. Now, I know some people like, no, I don't want to. You ain't got to hear nothing, man. Just read the book. As a matter of fact, take your time to find out, okay, if demons are behind the false gods, who told you that? And why did you believe it? Now, that doesn't mean you wrong for believing it per se, meaning, did you do any discriminatory inspection, research, investigation to validate that claim, or did you just accept it because it sounded good? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, y'all have mercy on our soul, what my mama told me a long time ago, which is basically what Acts 17 and 11 tell us now. You ain't supposed to take nobody's word for nothing. You supposed to go look that up for yourself. I wouldn't care who told it to you. Just because you feel like somebody wouldn't lie to you does not absolve you from your personal responsibility of validating information before you internalize it and or repeat it to others. Or as it says in Acts 17, the men were more noble than those in Thessalonica because they searched the scriptures daily to see if those things are so. There is no rhyme, reason, or excuse for you not to be doing that. None. There's no excuse for no grown man and grown woman who can read to not take their time to make sure the information that people are dispensing to you is that it actually is correct. All that because your mama black, because we Israelites, you's a buster and a disgrace to your father. And I ain't talking about your father in heaven. I'm talking about your father whose testicles you emanated out of. Get your lazy behind up and go validate information and stop just sitting there bobbing your head to the beat. Man, ain't no excuse for that for no grown man. That's how you get to see. That's how people run game on you. Uninformed people is the easiest people to manipulate because you will comment on things which you don't know, which is the height of ignorance. You can't have an opinion on something you haven't looked into yourself. How do you speak on things that you don't know nothing about? That's crazy. And guess what niggas do? Talk about things that you see it on the internet every day. I get case in point just because it's a constant state of fodder for people. I ain't watched that Ryan Davis interview on Shannon Sharp. Don't intend on watching it. You know what I'm talking about? Not because I have a problem with Shannon Sharp or Ryan Davis, because I just don't have a desire to. But I guess he made a statement about his daughter. And a lot of people made a lot of he calling his daughter a gold digger, whoop, whoop, whoop. And then you got a group of people over here. Clearly, y'all didn't watch the interview. Because this is what he said, and this is how he said it, and he took accountability for his behavior. And that's what I mean. People see a post, you run off tackle, you ain't watched it, you don't know it, you just see a clip, and you commenting off that. And that's why that man say don't judge according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Because let's just say in this instance that what them people said that he actually said in this conversation was true, you judge this man off something that he ain't even say.
Don't judge before hearing the matter.
You know what I'm saying? It do. And then I said it in word, but it do. Because from the gist, from what I've been able to ascertain, he said it felt like his relationship with his daughter became transactional. But he said that he believed it became transactional because he said he was out here on the road getting to that bread, and then that's all you doing is sending bread, and then the closeness you had with your daughter, you feel like you ain't got it no more. And according to these people who watched it, they said he acknowledged that that was his fault, and he was actively trying to correct that. So that's not calling your daughter a gold digger. But of course, it's a lot of women who responded to that and will tend to dig dudes because a lot of women will never understand that's how dudes look at things a lot of time, that people don't fool with you because they fool with you. They fool with you because what they can get from you. And that junk weigh on people because especially if you're looking at your jit and you like, man, you used to woo, woo, woo. Now it's daddy, I want this, daddy, I want this, all I ever hear. And you be like, well, goddamn. You want to come give your daddy a hug? See how you doing? Is your feet bad? Nothing, huh? I want this, I want that. You know, that mean niggas know it come with the territory. That don't mean they gonna enjoy it. The reality of what I've seen is if a man, a black man more specifically, utters anything that is not according to what people feel like he should be saying, then they gonna rip him a new butthole. Because if I said, I didn't watch it, so what if these people are saying it's true? Then that man say, hey man, it's like that because it's my fault. So I got to do X, Y, Z to correct that. That means he ain't throwing a dart on the bus. He just giving you a real life. And that be the part I be talking about. People full of crap when they say they want men to express themselves. No, you don't. You want them to express themselves how you feel like they should express themselves. If they express themselves in a fashion that make you uncomfortable or you don't like, then he's a terrible narcissistic, this, that, there, and the third. And that's it. Again, I'm not watching that interview. That nigga interviewed too long. I did see a clip that Michael Irvin say, man, I ain't on no cocaine. He said, you think cocaine gonna have you like this for 5-6 hours? He said, if you find some cocaine like that, bring it to me. Michael Irvin is a funny guy. You know what I'm talking about? Say a lot of them folks ain't down with Santa Claus. They want them kids to know they bought them presents. So, dude, a lot of black folks on that. Nah, I ain't giving that credit to no fat white man. He said it makes sense to what he said. And like I said, everybody's scenario situation is different. Some dudes say, I can relate to that. Some dudes be like, hey, when kids hit a certain age, that's what they do. They ask for stuff. You know what I'm saying? But also, if what he said is true, what they said is true, if you know what I'm saying? Because that's what most men do, because it's a hard balance of being present and getting some money. You know what I'm saying? Because certain men, they have a desire to want to be successful. I told you this before. This is why Skip Bayless said he never wanted any children, because he said his job was his wife. And he knew he would never be the father that he would need to be, because that's how dedicated he was to that. Now, some people hear that and be like, what kind of junk that is? That's a man self-aware. You know who else said this here? John Cena said the same thing. I don't want no children because I'm fully dedicated to this right here. And I know if I have children, I'm not going to be able to do 1, 2, 3 because I'm going after this with every ounce of my soul. I told you before, and I'll tell you again. It is very difficult if a man seeks to want to be great in the world, like do some extraordinary things. That man is not going to be that present of a father. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. There's no way. You can't do both. You know what I'm talking about? You can't do both. You can't go out here and be an extraordinary man and be at home every day and take the kids to school, take them to PTA meetings, take them to their sporting events, this, that, there, and the third. You're not going to be able to do all that. You say, yeah, that's what he's on Shannon's podcast. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do all that, bro. It's not possible. It's not. The level of time and dedication that you have to expend to do something extraordinary, it's not going to lead to it. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to lead to it. That's part of the reason why he told you, hey, you better love a little less your wife, your kids, your mother, your father. Because if you want to do something extraordinary and Yahoo Shop, there's no way that you're going to be able to do that with them. Meaning you don't put them first. You know what I'm talking about? Above what I'm asking you to do. And you have to be willing to I say, cool, bet. Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't do that. It's a hard pill to swallow because people want to convince you that, oh man, man, look here, man. We clown about it. You know, your favorite movie. What that funny looking little boy told that man in that movie? You already knew what funny looking boy I'm talking about. Why you always on the road? Be my father. But nigga, if I wasn't always on the road, we'd be homeless.
That man that told him you can go work at the factory, stop all this music stuff. But Pop, I love it.
And see, that be the ugly part. You want me to go work at the factory and resent everybody I ever known because I didn't take the chance to see if I could do it. And see, that be the hard part that a lot of people don't take and consider. This is just something that this man is passionate about. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of you niggas ain't passionate about nothing. You just want some money. You know what I'm saying? Or you want some attention. You ain't really passionate about it. It don't really drive you. It don't permeate through your veins. It don't course through your lungs. You know what I'm saying? You don't wake up thinking about it. You don't go to sleep thinking about it. You don't walk around thinking about it. You ain't hungry like the werewolf of London like that for real. But if it's something that you really, really hungry about, and you put that to the side to go do something you don't really want to do, that's a nigga gonna beat his wife and his children. Because he gonna hate everybody because he gonna feel like you the reason I ain't make it. Because he gonna spend the rest of his life thinking about what if. You know what I'm talking about? And that's for real, man. You know what I'm saying? He say, yeah, my brother's in the arts. He moves that way, and I respect it. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I ain't saying this right. I ain't saying this wrong. I'm just saying this is the reality of life. Some men got to try to see if I at least got to see if I can fail. You know what I'm saying? See, a nigga who don't care about failing, oh, he want that. You know what I'm talking about? He want that. He ain't scared of failing. Oh, he want that. See, a lot of people don't try stuff because you scared of failing. You just like what the man said in Luke 14. You worry about what everybody gonna say. Oh, this man wasn't able to finish building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. When you don't give a damn, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gone. When you look at Ryan Davis, man, that man moved all the way from his hometown to try to be a comedian. You got to be hungry for it when you go to the city you don't know nobody. You ain't got no job, nowhere to stay. Just the clothes on your back and a couple dollars. And guess what? Everybody who do that don't make it either. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas got to come back home for everybody to do what? I told you that nigga wasn't going to make it, you hating bastard. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of people want to see you fail. And you know why they want to see you fail? Because they ain't had a heart to go do whatever it is that they call themselves wanting to do. So they want to see you fail. You know what I'm saying? But there is no balance. There is no balance. You know what I'm talking about? Depending on what you're doing. There is no balance. You know what I'm saying? You either going to get this bread and get the time you get with him when he home, or you going to live a regular life or be poor. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have a rich nigga who home all the time. You ever heard of a rich nigga who home all the time? It ain't till he good and rich that he home all the time. That's why a lot of dudes don't be wanting to have no family till they get good and rich. Because I heard a lady the other day, she told me her husband must get her a chef and must get her a nanny. I say, so you want a rich nigga, huh? She was like, no. I say, you do know that the average American male cannot afford to pay a nanny, a cleaner, and a chef. Do you know how much that's going to run every month? The cleaner maybe not so much. You know what I'm talking about? But a nanny and a chef, oh, you're going to drop a couple racks for both of those. You know what I'm saying? Maybe depending on how good you want a nanny. You know what ends up happening when you have a nanny in the house? Now your husband in the room with her. That's what in every movie I ever seen. I don't know if it happened in real life. Every movie you be watching, that's what they be doing.
I don't watch Lifetime. That's Lifetime.
Nah, you be watching. Every time I come in here, it's Lifetime and Hallmark on. Some woman getting done wrong, crying, or looking for a goofy to love her. Yeah. Jay Cutler retired. Did that being home all day didn't work? Hey man, why you think all them pro athletes get divorced within 5 years of retiring? Their wife come home like, damn, I don't like this nigga. I wish he'd leave. It was better when it wasn't here. I could see the pool boy. Now I gotta sneak around because he home all the time. Come on, man. Isaiah 33 and 13. Just weigh and consider, man. You can take it and do what you want to, but that's what I mean by that. People hear stuff, man. You got to know, man. You got to look into stuff. Don't comment on stuff if you don't know for real. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit around and just let somebody tell you something and you ain't find out if that's accurate for real. Because I think we all heard demons being behind idol gods. But Yahuwah ain't never told you that. He said that's why you won't have a pool. Oh, you ain't gotta have a pool, boy. These days and time, you can clean it yourself. You can come put the little shorts on and tell your old lady, I'm the pool boy. Niggas say, boy, if you got a gardener now, that's the landscaper. Your old lady getting hit by an illegal immigrant. My God,
That's wild. I mean, but that was on Desperate Housewives. I don't know if
you see, I told you.
But they was all.
Boy, you watch Desperate Housewives? Boy, you lame.
They was all Spanish anyway. So.
Nigga watch Desperate Housewives. That nigga lame as hell.
I watched that.
It's not even a soap opera. Yeah. If it come on after 2:00, that ain't no soap opera. Ain't no soap opera. That's just a TV show. That's just a TV show. See, it happens in real life. There's a case now where the husband and nanny killed the wife. My God, today. This my thing. Why kill her? Just leave. Pay her the bread. Because you know you're going to have to pay her because you get. It's better to just pay her the bread and leave than to go to prison. Yeah, I never understood that. You know what, baby? We can kill her and then we can be together. No, just leave and be together. And give her the money. Look here, man. You know you're going to have to pay her. Just pay her and live your life.
Yeah, that was happening. But it was the opposite. The wife and the boyfriend, they killed the man and said gay to him.
Sure. That's what happened out there with that white man over there off JTB. Getting off the intercoastal. She done paid this old ugly nigga to go kill this man. Cause you mad with man. I don't understand that one, man. Golly. Boy, ain't nobody in the world gonna make. I know what's gonna show her. You gonna kill her. And you got to be a goofy man to let some woman convince you to kill her dude so you can be with her. Man, I'll take this bottle hole. You got me messed up. Your coochie ain't that good. Not to do all that.
I guess there's something in it.
Shoot, it got to be. Nobody lives happily ever after. That's how you know it's a God in heaven, because they all go to prison every time.
I was thinking about maybe they killing them because they know that they have a life insurance policy.
No, a lot of times there don't even be no life insurance policy. They just feel like he gonna stop us from being together, so we gonna kill him. So then we could be together. No, just be together.
Exactly, be together. Because the case already built. As soon as somebody dies, your case get built.
Yeah, man, people do it all the time. Say that's some Fargo stuff. Hire someone to kill it. Why? Man, people do this junk all the time. I'm telling you, bro. It's literally a case in Jacksonville, Florida, right now. This man went and picked up his kids from his ex-wife. They paid a nigga who was a tenant in the house of the dude she was with to kill this man. They put like some tires in the road to make him think it was an accident. And when Cub pulled up on it, boy, they gunned him down with his kids in the car. Yeah, with the kids in the car. Right out there. You know them houses all right by, we got to get on the ramp, the JTP going back toward the city. Right there. You know what I'm saying? Right there on Mars Parkway, man. It was about 3-4 years ago, man. They got the black nigga who pulled the trigger because he told on everybody. Got the chick, you know what I'm talking about, and her dude. And like Omar say, his stories like this happen all the time. Nigga, just leave. Take the financial hit and leave. Well, man, keep them goddamn kids.
See, he was fighting to keep the kids, so she killed him. She paid somebody to kill him.
That's why that white woman killed that man, because it was about them kids. Isaiah 33. You can have it.
You want that, man?
Yeah, you can have it. You can have it. Isaiah 33 and 13. I ain't gonna do it, but you can have it. Once she go to looking crazy, boy, she gonna kill you, boy. She keep them. I see them when they grown.
Yeah.
I want to live. Call me what you want to call me. You won't call me dead. Go ahead, man.
You say, hear you that are far off what I have done, and you that are near acknowledge my might. The sinners in Zion are afraid.
Sinners in Zion are what?
Are afraid.
Why?
Fearfulness have surprised the hypocrites.
What happened?
Who among us shall dwell with the devouring fire?
Who shall dwell amongst the what?
Devouring fire.
And then dwell in what else?
Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burning?
Everlasting what?
Burning.
Everlasting what?
Burning.
This man sound like he talking about somebody going to hell. Go ahead.
He that walk righteously and speak uprightly. He that despised the gain of oppressions.
That's good. Now I want you to go to Matthew chapter 8. I want you to read verse 10. Matter of fact, now go to Matthew 13, man. Read me verse 38. I want you to hear the wailing and gnashing of teeth. We'll look at the other one that says weeping and gnashing of teeth. And do it like that. Come on with it.
The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom.
That's right.
But the tares are the children of the wicked one.
What else?
The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. And the reapers are the Alahym. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his Alahym. They shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend.
All things that what?
Offend.
What else?
Them which do iniquity. And shall cast them into a furnace of fire.
And there shall be
wailing and gnashing of teeth.
There shall be what?
Wailing and gnashing of teeth.
But tell them what wailing is, man. You like Bob Marley and the Wailers?
That is Klaufmos, that is weeping, lamentation.
Now I want you to keep that in mind because weeping and what?
Lamentation.
And that's what hymnon mean. Lamentation. You know what I'm talking about? Luke 13 and 24. After that, Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 40.
Say, strive to enter in at the straight gate. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able. When once the master of the house.
Now, I want you to understand this is going to tie into what's in Psalms 82. And then once I get done with whatever in Psalms 82, we out of here. Because I ain't going to prolong something just to prolong it. I know it's more verses in Proverbs 6, but I ain't pressed.
Saying, when once the master of his house is risen up and I've shut the door, you begin to stand without and to knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us. He shall answer and say unto you, I know you not whence you are. Then shall you begin to say, we have eaten and drunk in your presence. You have taught in our streets.
Taught in our streets.
But he shall say, I tell you, I know not whence you are. Depart from me, all you workers of iniquity. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Why?
When you shall see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of Alahym, and you yourselves thrust out.
Thrust out. Oh, I forgot one. Mark 9 and 43. But this going to tie us back to Isaiah 66. But Ezekiel 20 and 45 is where you're going to next. This going to help you solidify the location. Go ahead.
And if your hand offend you, cut it off.
Do what?
If your hand offend you, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into hell. Into the fire that shall never be quenched. Where the worm die not and the fire is not quenched. And if your foot offend, you cut it off.
Cut it off.
That you enter into life than having 2 feet to be cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. Where the worm die not and the fire is not quenched. And if your eye offend you, pluck it out. It is better for you to enter into the kingdom of Alahym with one eye than having 2 eyes to be cast into hell, where the worm die not and the fire is not quenched.
Now, cool.
For everyone shall be salted with fire.
Good. Ezekiel 20 and 45. Now, I must ask this question. Where is Ezekiel at the time where he is speaking this word? Where is he physically located? Because this has to be established first. Where was he physically located? He was in Babylon. Now, this is important. Ezekiel 20 and 45. Listen to what he said.
Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying,
Son of Adam,
set your face toward the south.
Drop your word towards the what?
South.
And prophesy against the what?
Forest of the south field.
Now, stop. Now, Babylon is where to Jerusalem? To the north. So that means when he say prophesy towards the south, he's speaking about in the land. And then he lets you know in the forest of the south field. Given what forest mean by definition. Not Forrest Gump now.
That is Ya'ar, that's forest, wood, thicket, wooded height.
Now, continue. Verse 47.
And say to the forest of the south, hear the word of Yahuwah.
Thus saith
Yahuwah Alahym,
I will
kindle a fire in you,
and it shall
devour every green tree in you,
and
every dry tree,
the flaming flame,
shall not be quenched,
the flaming
shall
flame,
not be quenched.
all faces
From the south to the north shall be burned therein.
and all flesh,
Shall see that I Yahuwah have kindled it.
all
Shall
flesh,
see that I Yahuwah kindled it.
it shall not.
Be quenched.
Then said I,
Yahuwah Alahym.
they say of me.
Do he not speak parable?
They say, okay, we don't understand what he's saying. This is a riddle. This is an enigmatic word he spoke. We don't get it. But he said this fire will not be quenched. and they will know you who have kindled it. But let's see why he would have kindled it. Deuteronomy 32, verse 14. Make it 10. And let's see why he kindled this fire. What caused this fire to be kindled is going to take you back to everything we just read in Deuteronomy. From Jeremiah, the Chronicles, the Kings, about what they were doing in the Valley of Hinnom, or what got his anger kindled. Continue.
He found in him a desert land and a waste howling wilderness. He led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye.
Yep.
As an eagle stir up her nest, flutter over her young, spread abroad her wings, take them, bear them on her wings.
Mm-hmm.
So you who alone did lead them, and there was no strange God with him.
No strange God.
He made him ride on the high places of the arats, that he might eat the increase of the field.
Mm.
He made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock.
Flinty rock.
Butter of kine, milk of sheep, with the fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats, with the fat of kidneys of wheat, and you did drink the pure blood of the grape.
Mm-hmm.
But Yesharon waxed fat.
And kick.
You are waxing fat. You are grown thick. You are covered with fatness. Then he forsook Alahym, which made
Oh
him,
no!
and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
What'd he do?
They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods.
With strange what?
Strange gods, with abominations provoked they him to anger.
Oh,
They sacrificed unto devils.
they sacrificed unto who?
Unto devils.
My God,
not to Alahym, to gods whom they knew not.
Paul, tell them what devils is right now, man.
This is shade. This is demon, or as malignant, a devil.
Go ahead.
Say to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom the fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat you, you are unmindful.
You're unmindful.
And have forgotten Alahym that formed you. When Yahuwah saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be.
What else?
They are a very froward generation, children
in whom is no
faith.
What else?
They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not Alahym.
What else?
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities.
What else?
I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
What else?
I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled.
A fire is what?
Kindled in my anger.
That shall
burn unto the lowest hell. It shall consume the arats with her increase and set on
man,
fire.
say you kindled a fire in me that will burn to the lowest Sheol, to the lowest grave, which is why the Lord said what he said in Luke 12 and 50. And you can read it to them just in case they don't know. And after that, Revelation chapter 20, verse 7, maybe 8, maybe about 9. I'll look and see. Go ahead.
But I have a baptism to be baptized with. How am I straightened till it be accomplished? Suppose you that I come to give peace on the earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one household divided, 3 against 2, 2 against 3.
He said, what if I do if this fire already been kindled, right? That fire already been kindled because this man already been mad. So Revelation 20 and 7. Now this is where you're going to see, hold on, let me do this. Daniel 7 and 8. I want you to see that the beast is already tossed. Now we can read Revelation 19 where it show you that he tossed, because he's gonna tell you that the beast get over to the flame and flame. I just want you to establish so you know that it's there. And also now you're able to establish where it's gonna be at and why the Lord said there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Because that's what the name of the valley is, lamentation. And that's why they're burning, because the name of the city is the place of fire. You know what I'm talking about? And that's why they're there. Go ahead. And because they were offering the children in fire to Molech.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and mouths speaking great things.
Great things.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
His
garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Go ahead.
His throne was like the fiery flame.
So
his
what?
wings as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him.
Keep all this imagery in your brain, because you're going to hear the same thing in Revelation. Go ahead.
Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him.
That's right. And
the judgment was set.
The books were what?
Were open.
My God, today.
I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame.
Burning what?
The burning flame.
Now come over here to read Revelation 19 and 17. Then Revelation 20 and 7.
And I saw Alahym standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of Shamayim, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great Alahym,
Mm-hmm.
that you may eat the flesh of kings and the flesh of captains, the flesh of mighty men,
Mighty
the
men.
flesh of horses and of them that sit on them,
That's right.
the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great.
That's right.
And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse.
That's where you get your valley of Jehoshaphat at, the valley of decision. Go ahead.
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him,
Which deceived them.
that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image.
These both.
Were cast alive.
These both.
Were cast alive
In the lake.
Fire burning with brimstone.
And the remnant.
Were slain with them, with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled.
So understand that the beast and the false prophet are the first ones to go into the valley of him now. They the first ones to go. That's that beast in the burning flame in Daniel 7. They the first one to go. Revelation 20 and 7.
And when 1,000 years are expired, Hashatan shall be loosed out of his prison.
You can read this in Ezekiel 38.
And shall go out to deceive the nations which are on the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of saints about in the beloved city. And fire came down from Alahym out of Shamayim and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire.
Now Satan go in. Because hold on, because a lot of people think Satan in hell tormenting people. Satan don't go in until 1,000 years is up. Beast and false prophet are already there. Satan don't go in until the 1,000-year reign is up. That's when he go. That's when his angels go. And that's when all those whose names ain't written in the book go. Go ahead. And remember, the book is representative of the genealogy written in Shamayim, as we talked about a few weeks back. Meaning, if you're not a son of God, if you can't prove your descendancy, like you read in Ezra, that you are part of the priesthood because you would be kings and priests. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he redeemed you for, Revelation 5. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, we can't find you in the priesthood, man. You polluted the priesthood. We got to cast you out. Go ahead.
And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever.
Day and night. Go ahead.
And I saw a great white throne, and them that's and him.
Now, this is the imagery what you've seen in Daniel 7. Go ahead.
Whose face the earth and Shamayim fled away. There was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Alahym.
And
books were opened, and another book was opened,
which is
the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things
which are written
in the books according to their works.
According to their what?
To their works.
Go tell them what works is, man. Let's see what you're being judged according to your work.
That is ergon, business, employment, that which one may be occupied.
That's why he said, I pray you find yourself worthy of this vocation of which you call it. You think works is just keeping the commandments. The commandments is being about the business. What did the Lord tell his parents? No, you not. I must be about my Abba's business. Being about his business is just not keeping Sabbaths and I don't eat pork. Give them that full definition of works one more time, just in case they missed it.
We got business, employment, that which anyone is occupied, that which one undertakes to do, enterprise, undertaking. You got any product, whatever, anything accomplished by hand, art, industry, or mind. Or you got an act, a deed, a thing done. The idea of working is emphasized in opposition to that which is less than work.
Any idea you come up with? See, people grab this and they tell you, oh, this is the commandment. Oh, no. Oh, no. Remember what Nehemiah said, I've taken on a great work. I can't come down to you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's bigger than commandments, man. Give them that definition again, man. They got to be clear about what he communicating.
Got business, employment, that which anyone is occupied, that which one undertakes to do, enterprise, undertaking.
If you said you was undertaking to follow the son of land, what he told that man in Luke 9, you can't put your hand to the plow looking back. You ain't fit for the Malkufa Alahym. You ain't fit for the kingdom of God. So you have to understand, remember let's read Luke 14 on general principle, man. 14:26, man. I just want you to weigh and consider, because I know everybody see works and they automatic. That's keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's not what that man talking about, man. And that's not what that man talking about, man. And a part of your vocation is following those instructions, but that's not your vocation. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you should know that with any job you take on, the rules of your job is not your vocation. It's what you've been sent to do. That's the stuff we read in Romans 12. That's the stuff we read the other week in 1 Corinthians 12. You know what I'm talking about? We say if a man want to serve, let him wait on service. If he give, oh, that's occupation. That's all part of the vocation, my nigga. Go ahead.
Say, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also,
he can't be my
disciple. Whosoever do not bear his stake and come after me
cannot
be my disciple. For which of you intending to build a tower, sit not down first and count the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish.
And that's what people don't do. Do you have it in you to work this job?
Less happy after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. What king going to make war against another king, sit not down first and consult whether he be able to attend.
And all this is mentioned is you got to understand the vocation. He said, what man start building a structure and then stop? That man said, no, you not. I must be about my Abba's business. Being a man, since I mentioned it, man, Romans 12:4. Man, it ain't just preaching, man. I just want y'all to understand that. If preaching is what you do, then that's what you do. Remember what Peter told them. Hey, man, we're going to give ourselves to prayer, fasting, and the administering of the word. I ain't got time to be waiting tables. That's not my vocation. You know what I'm talking about? Same way Paul said he didn't send me to baptize. He sent me to preach. Remember I told you this a long time ago. Well, Book know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Deacon Feelgood used to get mad like, man, you don't never sing. He ain't send me to sing, blood. You know what I'm saying? If you want to sing, sing. Because I'm not going to hinder you. But just because you feel like that's what, nah, bro. Hey, you got some men, he might send them to preach, feed, and sing. He ain't send me to sing. You know why? Because, nigga, I can't sing. You know what I'm saying? See, I ain't one of them people, well, you making a melody to the Lord. That man don't want to hear your bad singing behind, nigga. You going to resurrect people from the dead before he get a chance to. Nigga cause all the neighborhood cats to howl. Nigga, you know what I'm saying? That ain't everybody's job, blood. Romans 12:4.
Therefore, as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office.
Not the same what?
Not the same.
And what is office again by definition? That's your business or occupation. So when he say he gonna judge you according to your deeds, it's your business or occupation. Go ahead. That's why he say if any man know to do good and don't do it, it's sin unto him. That's why he say anything that's not of faith, that's sin unto you. Man, you got a job to do, nigga. You need to go do it. Go ahead, man.
So we being many are one body in a Mashiach.
Go ahead.
More members as one of another.
Go ahead.
Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy.
So if it's your job to prophecy, he gonna judge you according to that.
According to the proportion of faith or ministry, let us wait on.
If it's service, he gonna judge you according to how well you served or how poor you served.
Or he that teach on teaching.
Well, if he gave you teaching, he gonna judge you by how good you taught or how poor you taught.
Or he that exhort on exhortation.
So if you're supposed to be giving encouragement and warning to people, that's your occupation.
He that give, let him do it with simplicity.
If it's your job to give, then that's your job.
He that rule with diligence.
If you got authority, then you need to rule with all diligence then.
He that show mercy with cheerfulness.
If it's your job to be merciful, then nigga stop being a douchebag. What else?
They say let love be without dissimulation.
That's good. These are all occupation. This is before you talk about your actual deeds of what you've done. A lot of people don't realize, boy, you may go to hell because you had a function in the body and you ain't do your job. See, they don't want to talk about that. Nobody don't like to talk about that. Boy, if it was your job to serve plates and you ain't served plates, you could be condemned for that. Why? Not because of the lacking of serving. It's not about the serving of plates. I gave you an occupation to do for the esteem of my name, and you treated it like a light thing. Because everybody's looking at, I don't want to do this here. I don't want to do this here. But everybody's job is no more important than the next person's job. All these jobs are for the purposes of bringing esteem to your God and serving everybody in the body one to another. That's what your job is for. That's why I say if you're ministering, then wait on your service. If it's teaching, then wait on your teaching. If it's giving, then do it with simplicity. All these things are important. The only thing that everybody looking at is the preacher. And you're only looking at the preacher because you want the attention and validation that you perceive come from that. You know what I'm saying? But his job ain't no greater than your job. They're all important. That man who showed mercy, his job is just as important as the man who teaching the word. That sister who cooking that food, or that brother who cooking that food, or that brother or sister who serving that plate, their job just as important. But you don't look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because you looking at it, I don't want to do it. So then look at that mentality and that attitude come up. If you don't even want to do this, you ain't gonna want to do nothing else. Remember, he said, he that is faithful in the least is faithful in much. So if you can't even be faithful in what you believe is a menial occupation, you ain't going to be faithful in what you perceive to be a greater occupation. You're going to move with the same level of contempt and distaste for that also. He said, Lord answered, he said, you wicked and slothful servant. That's right, you lazy bastard. You know what I'm saying? He's a lazy bastard. Everybody got a job, man. Ain't nobody's job less important. That's why I always told you, man, if I ask you to do something, you do it, I'm going to let you do it. That's your job. What I look like getting in the way of that? Clearly, there had to be a reason why you doing it. You think this man just say you just randomly put thoughts in people's head to? I ain't even talking about if somebody asks you to do it. If you get it in your mind to say, "Hey, I'd like to do this," because I would pray that you were asking to do something because you want to be beneficial to the body, which means in turn you're being beneficial to the Lord. Because He said, "If you did it unto the least of these, my brethren, you did it unto me." You understand? But that's how that works. Again, this is a communal interconnection. It's not no separation. We read the verse earlier in Galatians, man. You know, remain in the unity of the faith and the bond of the covenant, man. One body, one flesh, one immersion, one Alahym, who in all and through. Ain't no separation. I harp on those things because, man, stop thinking that, oh, well, if you ain't the preacher, you don't mean nothing. That's dumb. And it's not that you're dumb. I'm talking about the thought process is dumb because that thought process has been given by wicked niggas like we read earlier who declared $1.3 million less than what he actually earned. But let me tell you something, man. For a man to earn $1.5 million in revenue strictly from the church is an abomination. You know what I'm talking about? Because, see, he didn't try to change his revenue because it came from outside sources, because that would look stupid. How do we know this? Because it said he changed his salary from his earnings from 1.4 million to 120,000 because he said, oh, that's what the church paid me, and $24,000 in housing allowance. That means that man made $1.5 million off the word of God, bro. That's not what it do, bro. That's not what it do, bro. That's not what it do. There is no rhyme or reason, period, where any man should be making millions of dollars from the word, bro. For his own personal, that's crazy. That's crazy. Hell, it's even wilder. He got $120,000 a year salary. That's even crazier. You in the top 10% of earners from preaching the word, niggas think that's acceptable. Now, here's the caveat. If that nigga made $1.5 million and he made it off his own hustle and grind, I wouldn't have nothing to say about that, man. Because that means that man got that off the sweat of his brow, off his own innovation and ingenuity, and the Lord blessed the work of his hands. Ain't no wickedness in that. If this man made $1.5 million and none of that bread came from these people, what can you say about that? You can't hate on that. If that man pulling up in a Rolls Royce and he made all that, I ain't even talking about like how T.D. Jakes or Joel Osteen do it. And I'm not saying that to disparage those men. I'm saying that because they sell books about the word. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with them selling books about the word. You know what I'm saying? I personally wouldn't do it. You know what I'm talking about? But that's just me. That doesn't mean that they wrong because they did it. That's just something for me personally. I don't believe that I would do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think because what am I going to write? It can't be nothing but a self-help book. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to integrate God into that if I'm doing that. Me personally, this is my personal perspective. You understand? This is my opinion. I can't see myself monetizing anything as far as like, hey, you need to pay me and I'm using this man word in it. You know what I'm talking about? So that means if I wrote a book and I'm trying to write a book and the book got principles of the word in it, I'd have to give you that for free. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't charge nobody for the word, bro. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about that earlier. Where there's this congregation, boy, them boys didn't believe in buying and selling on the Sabbath except for the lessons. because they were selling this back in the days, though, on cassette tapes. They sell the lessons in the sanctuary. Bro, there's no way in the world, man, I'm finna sell a nigga no word, bro. I know nigga right now on his website, he sell lessons. And this is what some of these dudes do when they want you to buy their lesson. When they make their YouTube videos, they only give you snippets. See, now instead of selling the lessons like that, they want you to subscribe to their Patreon so you can get it. Bro, I can't peddle the word free, bro. I can't charge you for that. You know what I'm saying? I told you before, you can do a Patreon and nobody don't have to pay to view it. Like basically put it behind a paywall. You could create a Patreon and if people want to donate, that's just their choice. That's different. I'm talking about I can't see the content unless I pay for it. Meaning it's behind a paywall. You know what I'm talking about? Here's the video. You can see it, but give me $20 a month. Oh, and then there's tiers. To me, that's a disgrace and abomination before God, bro. That's just my opinion. Others may not feel that way, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But of course, the scenario here is different because he was talking about healing people. But that man say, freely you've been given, so freely give. If he gave you the word for free, you need to give it away for free. You don't charge nobody for that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they want to pull a move like the Shumanite woman did for Elisha, or like them women did with the Lord, the minister, that's different. You know what I'm saying? That's something you doing off your own volition because you appreciate whatever you believe this person is doing. You know what I'm talking about? So that they can sustain themselves. But you talking about, nah, man. Oh, you want to hear? Oh, I got a lesson on the lake of fire. $10. Yeah, that's a sucker move to me personally. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I wrote a book about how to be godly in 2026. Come on, blood. And them books ain't cheap. Because that's how a lot of them boys make their money. They make their money. Contrary to popular belief, T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen made a lot of money selling books. You know, them people pay you a good fat advance up front. You know what I'm saying? Probably once they recoup their money from the books and then them boys start getting royalties. I mean, them boys, you can make a lot of money writing books, man. That's why they write so many. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't believe in that personally. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that people do that personally I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do a flyer with my face on it. I wouldn't do a flyer with my name on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in making billboards or posting advertisements about no congregation, talking about come here and come there. Other people do, and I'm not knocking them for doing it. I wouldn't do it personally. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of things that I wouldn't do personally. In my opinion, that's bringing attention to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or you're trying to make a reputation for yourself. I don't see that in the text. Matter of fact, I give you an example. Go to Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1. Of course, you know it tell you that in Philippians that the Lord made himself of no name and reputation. You know what I'm saying? If he wants your reputation to increase, then he'll increase it. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't think there's any additives needed. You know, some Christian people are like, oh, why you want the pastor to be poor and all that? It's not whether he poor or rich. He shouldn't be getting rich off the word. Getting rich off the word is an abomination, bro. Especially when you got Samuel saying, man, I ain't take nothing from y'all. And you got Moses saying, man, I ain't take nothing from y'all. Nah, bro. There's no man walking this earth that should be generating 6 figures from off the word, bro. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Some people say, oh, we want to pay, because you know what, tell you that. Give double honor to, you know, the elders of those who diligently teach and rule. I get all that. But $120,000 a year, bro, this nigga out his goddamn mind, man. Nigga, you only work 1 day a week. How many niggas you know gonna make $120,000 a year for working, what that is, man, 4 times, for 48 times a year? Nigga, that's a hell of a pay rate. Now, of course, I know it's other stuff that these niggas might be doing, but you get the point. That's ridiculous. $1.4 million, that nigga should be hung from a tree. And flogged. I ain't talking about hung so he can be killed. I'm talking about hung by his wrist and he need to be beaten with a belt. Go ahead.
Say, my son, forget not my law, but let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and shalom shall they add to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let not mercy and truth forsake you.
Mhm.
Bind them about your neck. Write them upon the table of your heart. So shall you find favor and good understanding in the sight of Alahym and man. Trust in Yahuwah with all your heart, lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, he shall direct your paths.
What else?
Be not wise in your own eyes, fear Yahuwah, depart from evil.
What else?
It shall be health to your navel and marrow to your bones.
What else?
Honor Yahuwah with your substance and with the first fruits of all your increase.
What else?
So shall your barns be filled with plenty, and your presses shall burst out with new wine.
What else?
My son, despise not the chastening of Yahuwah, neither be weary of his correction. For whom Yahuwah love, he correct, even as a father and son. And
He said, God said, that boy, that's stupid.
happy is the man that find wisdom and the man that get understanding.
I might have missed it first. Go ahead. Keep going. Go ahead, man.
He said, for the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all things can desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and her left hand is riches and honor. Her ways are the ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace.
That's right.
She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her. Happy is everyone that retain her. Yahuwah by wisdom hath founded the earth by
That's good,
understanding.
man. I got you on my plate. I can't remember where's that. Nevertheless, what I need, we need to get to what Isaiah 60. No, we need to go back to Revelation 20. But yeah, man, it is what it is. You know, just move circumspectly is all I can tell you.
Verse 13, Revelation 20.
Revelation 20:13.
It's saying the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. Death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
Death and hell, the grave and death are now being thrown into the place of fire, that they may lament. Go ahead.
And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
My God, today. So this tells you that if some people could come up on the second resurrection, that their name could be in the book of life theoretically. You know what I'm saying? We talked about this before. If you come up on the second resurrection, there's a strong chance you're going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Strong chance. But there is a chance that your name could be, because there would be no reason for him to open up that book if it wasn't people who coming out the grave whose names were in it. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, that's just showing you that that's the end of that. Go to Isaiah 66 and 21, then we hit Psalms 82. Because Psalms 82 leads with judgment. So it was apropos that we shifted gears just a tad bit, and it'll help bring into play what he's discussing in this person, especially when you talk about the wicked that he gonna reference in Psalms 82. Dwayne Jamal.
Isaiah 66 and 21, and I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith Yahuwah. For as a new Shamahim and a new Arats will I make, shall remain before me, saith Yahuwah. So shall your seed and your name remain. It shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, from one Shabbat to another.
That means from month to month and week to week.
Shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahuwah. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me.
He said they'll do what?
Look upon the carcasses.
They'll look. That means you can see them. I want you to understand what he said. The lake of fire is a place that visibly can be seen. What he said about it?
Upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die,
And their fire
shall be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh.
Tell them what abhor means, just in case they didn't know.
That is their own, that is aversion, abhorrence, contempt.
You're going to have these people in contempt. Everybody you see in the lake of fire, you're going to hold them with contempt. And now you know where that place is located at. And why he said there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Because it's in the valley of Hinnom, in the city of Tophet, south of Jerusalem, the place where they offered the children to Molech in the fire. You understand? So now when people tell you, oh, the lake of fire made up, no, ain't nothing made up about it. It's not up under the earth where Satan dancing around with a pitchfork, doing all this crazy stuff to people. Remember I told you when the lady said she's seen Biggie in hell? Now you can see that whatever you seen, baby, that wasn't according to no word, because the word don't describe what you just said. Because the word don't describe Satan tormenting nobody, because Satan don't go into the lake. He the third nigga to go in the lake. How he gonna torment a nigga? He in there. People think Satan in there now, but this is the key you're supposed to know. How Satan gonna be in hell? And he said he walking through the earth to and fro like a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. That means he ain't in there. That means he ain't in there. Why does it? Remember what the Lord said that, read Matthew 25:41. This is what I mean by you, when you know the word and you hear people say certain, because that's what I mentioned this, because that's what I told to do. Satan gonna be tormenting people, contrary to popular belief. Satan ain't gonna be tormenting nobody. But that's what people believe. And you know why you believe it? From popular movies and television and things of that nature, even music and all this stuff. And you thinking they put it in the movie, so it got to be real. Man, they put a lot of stuff in movies. That junk ain't real. It's the distortion of reality. The same token, they give you zombies and you thinking, oh, it's a zombie. They really mocking the resurrection of the dead. Because they saying that's how you going to look coming out the grave. You're going to be undead. Why they going to pay attention to what you see a zombie is. What they say a zombie trying to live on? Flesh and blood. Well, why they trying to live on flesh and blood? Because they ain't got no blood, but they ain't got no spirit either. That's why they call them undead. Because you already know from Ezekiel 37, he going to put flesh and tendons on you. Or like what the Lord said, a Ruach don't have flesh and bones as you see me have. He poured out the blood, but he was filled with the Ruach. And the Ruach is life. When they show you them zombies, they the opposite of that. They the opposite of that because they mocking. They mocking. You say you never thought about zombies in context. Oh, once I got the word, I peeped that play. Because they literally coming up out the grave. And they literally call them the undead. The same with vampires. You know what I'm saying? He said, how do we operate in the body if you don't have... I mean, operating in the body per se, even if you're not physically around in the assembly, it's just dealing with others who in the body. You know, the assembly in and of itself is not just a place where you may gather to hear the word at. The assembly in and of itself is all those who in the body. You know what I'm saying? Whether near or far. Now, of course, you know, it's a lot easier if they're near. You know what I'm talking about? But stop, boy, before you hit your head. Boy, your head too big to be trying to do all that, boy. So, yeah, this is basically how you operate with people in the body, period. You know what I'm saying? Because when Paul's writing that to the Romans, obviously it's a literal assembly per se. But also he just talking about, he didn't, when he referenced body, he wasn't referring to a congregation. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's how we look at things from a modern sense. You know what I'm saying? We always isolate it to an assembly. But that's not what he referring to. He referring to the body in its totality. You know what I'm saying? So if you connect, and then most of the time, and I can understand why you feel like that, Emma. I can understand why you feel like that. I mean, it's ways to do. I mean, it can be doing something for the body as simple as if it's people like, say, you may know here, or people that you may know in another city, and simply calling them and giving them a word of encouragement. It can be just that simple. It can be just as simple as giving. It could be just as simple as a word of wisdom. You know what I'm talking about? It could be just as simple as giving having a word of faith towards an individual. You know what I'm saying? It's not as complex as a lot of people like to make it out to us. You know what I'm saying? To where we start feeling how you just described. But it's really just simple human interaction that you would do with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Of course, living in these days and times, it's a lot easier for people to move around. Now, when you take the advent of the internet along with, you know, cellular phones versus house phones, you know, it's a lot easier for people to stay connected to people who are not necessarily in their general locale, if you would. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. It's really just that simple. Like when he mentioned that it's not, oh, I'm a part of this assembly, so I have to do that for this assembly. Not saying that is what you were saying. You know what I'm saying? That's how people are conditioned to think. You know what I'm saying? I gotta join an assembly. Like bro, we were talking about this earlier. They were talking about like certain Israelite congregations and the amount of people they have in them. You know what I'm saying? Because of course I referenced why we were talking about the other week about mega churches. Like it's not that many mega churches. Like I don't think people realize how many 2,000 people are when you're talking about getting them into an organizational structure. That's a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of companies that don't have 2,000 people in them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you start getting borderline when they talk about a big business. Because when you hear small business, they're not talking about you're a small business based off your revenue. They're talking about you're a small business based on how many people you employ. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what that is. I can't remember what the number cutoff is, I can say.
For a small business.
No, I think it's less than a few hundred. A small business is a privately owned company with fewer employees and less revenue than a large corporation, defined by specific criteria like 500 employees or under $7.5 million in revenue in many U.S. sectors. The SBA, or the U.S. Small Business Administration, sets size standards based on an average annual receipts or employee count, depending on the industry. 500 employees for manufacturing and specific revenue for retail. So that's what I thought it was. About 500 is where they start that cap off. Now, you have to think about it. You know how many businesses don't got 500 people working for them? Damn near all of them. You know what I'm saying? It's not a whole bunch of companies that got hundreds of people working for them. You know what I'm saying? That's what I be telling you when these people be calling like on construction cleans and they be tripping. Well, you know, full well ain't no cleaning company out here got no 100, 200 people working for them. Well, they can just deploy 15, 20 people at any given moment. Y'all niggas know this. Y'all ain't just start doing this. You know what I'm talking about? But you know that I don't think it's probably. I would probably say if I was to be a betting man, I would bet them probably less than 5% of all cleaning companies have over 50 employees. Because even the big companies like Citywide and all them, they don't even have that. They don't have no employees at all. Because they spend all their time getting the contracts and subbing it out to other people. I don't think Citywide has a group of cleaners. They just send out that work for them.
When we do the stadium, they send people out there to supervise. That's it.
Yeah, and that's a small amount of people. I'm talking about, yeah, man, we got a 40 count cleaners we can send. Because the reality is, if there are no quote unquote large corporations or cleaning companies, man, it's just not something that's done. I'm just using that because that's something that some of us have personal experience in. You know what I'm saying? But these companies act like you got 20, 30, 40, 50 employees. And you know why they feel like that? Because they deal with a company like Citywide who subcontracting to all these different people. And then, you know, when you're dealing with them, they don't want you to wear your company logos and all this stuff when you pull up on these people. So these people be thinking you work for these people. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know that you an independent contractor in a private company who they send in. See, that's how they kick their game. Average person don't know that. Because that's one of the first things they tell you. Don't wear your company logo. Don't wear this here. And you know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know you work for such and such cleaning company. Because they don't want you to cut them out. So, and of course, you can't blame the customer. The customer see all these people out here, and they generally think, oh, so every cleaning company got this many employees. They don't know it's 10 different companies out here. They don't know that. Then when you get isolated and they be like, you don't got more people you can bring? Hell no. What you mean? Because that's how they think. They thinking, hey, no, that's not how they see, and that's how they play on people. You say it's a Morgan and Morgan do the same thing. Oh yeah, them lawyers. So, you know that. What you mean that's what Morgan and Morgan do? I just rode past Morgan office today. Damn sure one right there on Blandon and Orange Park. That boy advocate for smoking that wacky tobacco. That what you like, ain't it? Know that what Doris like. She said, bump that joint, this baby moving. Psalms 82 and 1.
With the Matthew 25.
Oh yeah, 25.
To then shall you say unto them on the left hand, depart from me, you
He said they subcontract to other lawyers. See, I ain't even know they did that. That's wild.
That is crazy. Subcontract the casework.
Subcontract your casework. But I ain't gonna lie though, that's a strong way to make your cut, and you ain't gotta do no work. Because that's what I was just telling the other day. That's what bruh be doing. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is, when you got stuff like that, that's how you listen, man. If you could get enough cleaning contracts and you could sub it to a nigga, you ain't even gonna care about making it. Let's say you got 10 jobs that you could sub to a nigga, and you would only make $100 a job. You wouldn't give a damn, because that's $1,000 a day. That's $4,000 a week. That's $5,000 a week. That's $60,000 a month. You ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? They had to put up all the bread. The main thing you got is your reputation on the line, depending on whoever you send. You know what I'm saying? Because I told them when we were doing that doggone property preservation, that's what I was trying to do, because just wanted to shoot up methamphetamines. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, for real, like, hey, man, you can sub that. Hey, you get this job, I seen you out here, man, I'll let you get the majority of the bread. Because, see, that's where a lot of them be messing up at it in that property preservation. They want to take the majority of the bread from the nigga who doing all the work. If you doing all the work, yeah, man, if it's a $2,000 job, man, shoot, let me get 300. You know, 350. I ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I had to do is I got to upload all them goddamn photos. You know, that's worth $350. If you ever did it, that junk is the most aggravating thing in life. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, you get that. Guess what, man? Nigga steady going, and you get that 350 4-5 times in a week just from this one person, and I say you get two, man, you done made a whole. You ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't did nothing. That's what Citywide be doing. See, that's what all of them probably be doing, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's a whole other conversation. Come on, son.
Say, then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his malachim.
So that everlasting fire that we were reading about in Ezekiel 20, Isaiah 33, Isaiah 66, man, that was prepared for the devil. I wasn't prepared for man. I just want you to know that. I wasn't prepared for man. I was prepared for the devil. Man going because he don't. Because a lot of people think he prepared hell for man. He did not prepare hell for man. He said he don't take no pleasure in the death of him that dieth. So the valley of Hinnom and the valley of Tophet was not made for man. That was strictly for the devil and his angels. If man goes, it's because he elected to go. But see, brothers don't talk about that. That's not communicated to people. So you got in your mind, what type of God would want to send his creation to a hell and this, that, and the third? He didn't want to. That's not who he made it for. But people don't know that because nobody don't talk about it. Psalms 82.
Say, Alahym stand in the congregation of the mighty.
He judged
among the gods.
So Paul. What you think this means? Now, this is what people say, oh, see, this is talking about a pantheon. But it's not, though. Give me Exodus 22 and 16. But shoot, like I told you, Sister Regina, I can tap you in with some of these sisters around here, and I think Emma, you already got. See, Emma, you did one simple thing by just having them sing during tabernacles and all that. Because now them churn be singing that song that you had them sing. It's just something as simple as that is doing the occupation. To somebody outside looking in, it wouldn't seem that much. But in reality, you know, in the eyes of the Lord and what we can read contextually, that's a great work. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always try to harp on those things so people don't get it in their mind that it's minimized or it's not a big deal. To see, you don't even know, like I just mentioned with Deacon Feelgood, he told my man, we should sing. I say, bro, write your song then, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you could come sing whenever you want. Man, when we were first starting out, man, my homegirl used to be like this. I'm like, bro, you could sing till your heart bursts. I don't care. Because I'm not going to stop that. Anything that facilitates to the service of another saint, somebody in the word, I'm not going to stop it. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, we can't do that. That's dumb. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't even make any sense. How can be served? How can something that can be done that can serve somebody in the body? Why would you want to stop it, hinder it, slow it down, minimize it? It don't make sense. Just because you might feel like it might not be profitable to you, which is crazy if you thought that, you know what I mean? Don't mean that it's not going to be profitable to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you really have to assess certain things, man. As long as it line up with what's permissible with the word, then you're supposed to encourage that, nurture that, and let that be done. And here's the key point. And not micromanage it. You know what I'm saying? And not micromanage it. That's why he say, hey, him that's on serve him, let him serve. Woo, woo, woo. There's no micromanaging going on. Where the overseer / pastor / shepherd / elder, whatever title you want to use, is trying to watch over these people and dictate what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? That's not what it is, but that's what you see now is that these men want to have total control over everybody and everything. And that's not what that is, man. If people want to sing, let them sing. You know what I'm saying? People got something on their brain to say, to let them say. If the organization is big enough and this man got the ability to teach, then let him teach. You know what I'm saying? This person got the ability to give, then let him give. If they got the ability to encourage, then let them encourage. It's just that simple. Like it's not that complex, man. It's not that deep. It's not complicated. It's not convoluted. It's pretty much straightforward. It's pretty much the same things you would do for people if there wasn't no word per se, but these are people who you are related to or friends with or affiliate with that you invested in. I love you. I care about you. I'm invested that you be the best version of yourself or be able to accomplish this, that, and the third. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when that mentality is had, then, because what ends up happening, of course, most people know this here, because if you've been to church and things, like people start get clicked off. If you don't operate like that and you operate as a cohesive unit, ain't no clicks, as everybody going to be operating one to another. When I see you, I see the Lord. I see myself. So we all in this together. Ain't no separation. That's why we always reference that Job. His scales click close together, so can't no air get in between. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, because of pedestalizing and idolizing and a desire for vain glory, as Paul put it in one epistle letter, because everybody just want to be the preacher. You know what I'm saying? But everybody can't be the preacher, just like everybody can't be the giver, just like everybody can't be the teacher, just like everybody can't be the exhorter, everybody can't be the comforter. When I say the comforter, one who Nakam gives comfort and consolation, everybody can't be that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody not necessarily going to have that word of wisdom or that word of faith or that word of knowledge at the same time. Everybody, that's what he said. Does everybody an apostle? Does everybody do miracles? Does everybody have rule? Everybody don't do the same thing. Once you realize, man, like I've always referenced what Bill Belichick said, man, just do your job. Because I promise to you, man, who is my witness before who I stand, man. Man, that man don't look at nobody's job any lesser. Man might look at it lesser, and that's your problem. You worrying about how man gonna look at what you doing. Boy, Yahuwah in heaven look down and see everybody that has a duty, a responsibility, a job, anything in the word. It is just as important to him as any other job. He don't look at that, oh shoot, all that nigga do is give. He ain't the same. You know, this merciful nigga more important to me than nah, he don't do that. That's man stuff. Oh, thank you, Yahuwah. That's man stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's man stuff. Never discount anything that you do, especially in a group setting that could have an impact on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you have impact on people, you don't even realize the level of impact that you actually did. This is why, matter of fact, let me find it. Now, Paul referencing one thing in particular, but we can use this all the way around if we would. It's in Corinthians, if my mind's down, saying me correctly. Yeah, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, you did. Go to 4 and you can start at verse 10. That's one of them, but it's another one. Go ahead. 2 Corinthians 4 and 10.
Always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord Yahushua, that the life also of Yahushua might be made manifest in our body.
Mm-hmm.
For we which live are always delivered unto death for Yahushua's sake, that the life also of Yahushua might be made manifest in our mortal flesh.
Mm-hmm.
So then death work in us, but life in you. We having the same rock of faith, according as it is written,
I believe.
Therefore have I spoken. We also believe, and therefore speak.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that he which raised up the Lord Yahushua shall raise us up also by Yahushua, and shall present us with you.
Mm-hmm.
For all things are for your sake, that the abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many redound to the esteem of Alahym.
Hold on, what he said?
For all things are for your sakes, that abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many redound to the esteem of Alahym.
Now he's talking about the loving kindness that's in many, that the things that they do, that redounds to thanks to God, right? Give them redound by definition. Then we go to the verse that was actually in my head, which is 2 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 11, verse 10.
Pirasuyo, this is to exceed a fixed number of measure, to be left over and above a certain number. Or
above and beyond, a great amount, if you would. Or gadol, if we would look at it in Hebrew. But let's go to 2 Corinthians 9. Matter of fact, make it 7. Now, this is going to be spoken in the context of giving, but I don't want it to just be in your mind regulated to just that as far as contextually of what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? I want you to look at it in the totality of things like we read in Romans 12, things that we reference in 1 Corinthians 12, of the totality of the last statement that he make in this letter. Go ahead.
Every man according as he purposed in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for Alahym love a cheerful giver.
Now remember, this is talking about giving to somebody who's without. I know people like to take this, we've talked about this previously, the preachers like to take this and reference this to tithes and offerings. That's not what he's talking about. See, this is a part of what we read in Romans 12. If he that give, let him do it cheerfully, because this is an occupation. You know what I'm talking about? This isn't an occupation to give to the preacher. This is an occupation to give to your brother, to your sister. This is what he's referring to. So you need to be clear about that. You need to understand the context of what you're reading. Go ahead.
And Alahym is able to make all grace abound toward you, that you always having all sufficiency in all things may abound to every good work.
Abound to every what?
Good work.
Listen.
As it is written, he have dispersed abroad, he have given to the poor, his righteousness remained forever. Now he that ministers seed to the sower, both minister bread for your food, and multiply your seed sown, and increase the fruits of your righteousness, being enriched in everything to all bountifulness, which calls through us thanksgiving to Alahym. For the administration of this service not only supply the want of the saints, but
pause. The administration of what?
Of this service
supply to the want of the who?
Of the saints.
Of the who?
Of the saints.
To the preacher.
Of the saints.
To the leadership.
The saints,
okay,
but is abundant also by many thanksgivings unto Alahym.
Many what?
Thanksgivings unto Alahym.
So because of this administration to the saints, this calls the thanks to give thanks to God because of you. You understand that? This is one of the things he say. He say, thanks be to.
He said, while by the experiment of this ministration, they esteem Alahym for your professed subjection unto the gospel of Mashiach, and for your liberal distribution unto them unto all men, and by their prayer for you, which long after, for the exceeding grace of Alahym is in you. Thanks be unto Alahym for his unspeakable gift.
That man say that's a gift for number one, for you to be able to have that a bit. Notice he said that you're doing this for the saints. Now I just want you to look at that in the totality of a multitude of things. You don't think that's because he said the multitude of the grace of God and love and kindness of God that's in you for you to be able to do that, which he's contextually speaking about. But just imagine the thanks that would redound unto God because you had a word of praise and you taught that to them. Now they heart singing and melody to praise every day because of what you taught them, and they give thanks to God because of you. You know what I'm talking about? Because of the grace of God that's in you. Or you gave a word of encouragement, or words of wisdom, or words of all these things in there because it tells you that in 1 Corinthians 12, because we talk about it. All these things are representative of the grace of God or the loving kindness of God that is he has taken and bestowed upon an individual. You know what I'm saying? And then because of that gift of grace that he's bestowed upon this individual, and they are able to manifest that gift and bestow that gift on another, then prayers and thanks to God for this individual is made. That's a gift from God. People thanking God because of you. You don't think that's not going to redound back to you as righteousness on your behalf? But what ends up happening, you get told that those things aren't as important as the pt11 or the arranger of sentences. But in reality, if we was to really, you know what I'm talking about? If you really take the preacher out to play, that actual human interaction and doing those things with somebody on an interpersonal level may very well be more important than this man who's administering the word. Because the man who's administering the word may obviously be able to do that with others, but he may not necessarily be able to do that with all. Because when you see what Paul talking about, he said, yeah, if we're what we read in 2 Corinthians 4, yeah, we able to do that, but he's looking at the administration of service before needs and wants, the people doing that to him. And he said he giving thanks to God because of them. You know what I'm talking about? So this is what I mean when you got to look at the text, you got to slow your mind down, you have to take preconceived notions out to play, and you got to look at contextually what these men are saying. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at what they're saying, everybody's important. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's important. No one person is of greater importance than the other because everybody is fitting together so that going into what the Lord said, if you love one another, then they'll know that you're my disciples. You know what I'm saying? So that when people see that, they see the love of God in totality amongst everybody. And again, I've always told you this here, and it's not relegated just to the people who you fellowship with. Now, you have to take into account when you're dealing with, at least with the epistle letters, them people were near each other, but they weren't near each other at the same time, but when they were connected. That's why I always told you, our desire is always to reach out to other congregations in the city, but niggas don't really want to operate like that because they worrying about things of no consequence. You know what I'm saying? And I get why they worry about it. I don't, but I do, because I'm understanding the thought process of human nature. You know what I'm saying? But a nigga coming up saying, hey, man, I want to link up with you, man. I don't look at that as, oh, he going to take people away. They're going to listen to him. You's a buster if you think like that. You know what I'm saying? Because some of y'all know that we was in a situation like that. Nigga coming up to my, oh, I ain't trying to member swap. Nigga, it ain't never ran across my mind worrying about if a nigga gonna come listen to you, blood. And it definitely ain't run across my mind talking about, oh, we gonna try to pull people away from you so they could, nigga, that's some real immature, carnal, goofy, weirdo type of stuff to me personally. I felt like that then 10 years ago, and I still feel like that now. And when I say feel, I'm not talking about emotionally. I'm talking about this is how I thought about it then, and I think about it now. Nigga, that's weird. That never even entered into my mind. Who cares? This ain't no competition. Nigga, I don't own these people, nigga. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? But unfortunately, it is too many people who think like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at it as, man, we here, man, we here, man, we here. We all on the same type of time. We all say we believe in this man according to the scripture have said. We all say we in his body, but then niggas don't fool with each other for real. You know what I'm saying? Or you worrying about somebody infringing on your territory. Nigga, you's a weirdo, bro. We not selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Walmart versus Target. Nigga, what's wrong with you? We're not competing. But that's how people look at it, man. Or people only like, I only want to, because I only know these people, so I only want to kick it with them. Come on, man, grow up, my nigga. And when I say grow up, I'm not talking about grow up mentally. I'm talking about grow up spiritually, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to mature. That's an immature way of thinking. That's not a spiritually mature person. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. You don't have on a monopoly on that word because this word was been moved before you were born. And if we was to drop dead today, guess what that word's still going to be doing? When I say we drop dead, I'm talking about anybody who preaching the word right now, tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, any day. If we was to all drop dead on the same day, guess what the Lord do? Raise up men to keep that word going. It's not going to stop because we died. No, that's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? So when you know that, then you'll know that this is not a competition. You know what I'm saying? It's not. We supposed to be all in this thing together, man. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, man, y'all boys over there, we over here, holler at me if you need me, man. I'm not trying to come over there and be like, oh, I got some word. They need to hear what I know. You so goofy. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to go to any congregation, no matter what you know, and sit there and abide in your place unless this man asks you to speak. That's why Paul said, don't try to build on another man's foundation. You got to do all that, man. We supposed to be men. Supposed to be anyway. You know what I'm talking about? What I got you holding, bud?
What's Exodus 22:16?
Run that.
You say if a man entice a maid that is not
Ain't it. Let me see. That's definitely not it. Probably got you. All right, 28. My bad. All right, praise you, Lord.
Says 28.
Yeah, 22 and 28. Exodus 22 and 28. That was my bad, y'all.
So you shall not revile the gods nor curse the ruler of your people.
You should not revile the who?
Revile the
Now,
gods.
this Alahym, this is ruler, divine one, judges, men of rank and authority. So when you see Alahym stand in the congregation of the mighty, he judge among the gods. Go to 1 Corinthians, what that is? 6? Tell me what that say, man. 6 and 1.
Dare any of you having a matter against another go to law before the unjust and not before the saints? Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? The world shall be judged by you. Are you unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Know you not that we shall judge Malachim? How much more things that pertain to this life? If then you have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the assembly.
Pause. So when you see him talking about judging among the gods, standing in the congregation of the mighty, we just read it when we read Revelation 20 and Daniel 7. He judging among the saints. See, hold on, Paul. What that is? 1 Samuel? 1 Samuel, hold on. What that is, man? 1 Samuel 28. Hey, so, man. Yep, it's 1 Samuel 28 and 9. Run it.
And the woman said unto him, behold, you know what Saul have done, and how he have cut off those that have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then lay you a snare for my life to cause me to die. And Saul swore to her by Yahuwah, saying, as Yahuwah lived, there shall no punishment happen to you for this thing. Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto you?
He said,
bring me up Samuel.
Samuel.
And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice.
You lied to me.
The woman spake to Saul, saying, why have you deceived me? For you are Saul. King said unto her, be not afraid, for what saw you? The woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth.
He saw gods doing what?
Ascending out of the earth.
Sitting out of where?
Ascending out of the earth.
Tell him what gods is right there, man. Say Paul, inspiration. Yeah, man, I mean, man, listen, man. I'm going to tell you something, in my personal opinion, what I derive from what Paul letters is, man. And not what a lot of people who just take issue with a man whom they've never seen, met, or anything in the case may be. You're talking about a man who's nice with the word, right? But you're also talking about a man who clearly was showing that he was a real nigga. And what I seen by that is that he's an authentic individual, because you can see that by how he was communicating to these people. You know what I'm saying? If you're a real person yourself. So you can see where he gave comfort, where he gave inspiration, where he gave encouragement, where he gave rebuke, where he gave understanding, because these real people he writing to, who dealing with real things. But most of the people who deal with this word right now, these dudes are so pretentious and goofy and weird that the only thing that they can think about is doctrine. They don't look at it as these were real people. You know what I'm saying? So when he writing and say what we just read in 2 Corinthians 9, when he writing to these people, man, he letting them know like, hey, man, you doing this, that, there for those who down bad, whoop, whoop, de whoop, boy. That's a real deal thing you got going on. This how this work towards you. This how it redound to God. Man, don't you know you got the love and kindness of God got you moving like that, man? Or the same way when he was in Corinthians 8:14, amen, everybody got a psalm, everybody got a revelation, everybody got this here. Man, why about y'all boy chill out, man, line that stuff up properly so everybody can be edified, so everybody can rejoice. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas tripping. Or how he ended it, he said, hey, man, you know, desire the greatest spiritual gifts, you know, but shoot, hey, man, get you some love in you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But then he talking about people who, hey, man, this woman helped me do this. This brother helped me do that. When I was locked up, this brother did that. This real nigga activity he talking about, man. But nigga talking about, you know, man, Paul wasn't no apostle. Man, shut your stupid behind up, my nigga. That's how you know a lot of these people flawed, man. They ain't 100. And when I say they ain't 100, they ain't 100 with themselves. So they definitely can't be 100 with God, nor be 100 with you. But they ain't 100 with themselves. Man, when you a real person, man, and you really look at the things that these men were saying and doing, you seeing, man, all they were trying to do was add value to the people who they had love for, who God sent them to. And that's it. Remember Paul say, man, he said, I ain't held back nothing profitable to you. You know how real that is, man? That man say, boy, everything I had to give you, boy, that you could profit from and gain from, boy, I ain't keep that back, boy, I gave it to you, boy. Boy, that's love, my nigga. Do you understand that? Man, that's love, man. When a man know that I'm expending everything I got for your benefit, I ain't holding nothing back from you. Yeah, I know if I do hold back something from you, it'll be blood on my hands, but I ain't even worried about the blood on my hands. I mentioned that because he mentioned that. I ain't even worried about the blood on my hands, boy. Boy, I love you, boy. So I'm going to give you all the game. I ain't finna keep nothing back. What am I keep something back for? I'm gonna hold a little bit for later. You know what I'm saying? That's a nigga who won't control. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, when you care about people, you love people, man, I'm getting to you, man, I give it to you for free. See, one thing about the word, man, the word don't move according to the pimping, man, that the game's supposed to be sold, not told. You know what I'm talking about? And this game right here, man, the game ain't never to be sold. It's always to be told. Always to be told. That's something you always got to remember. That's why I said that earlier about the word, man. I couldn't put no price tag on it if I used. No, I can't do that, blood. I can't do that. This game is always to be told. It ain't never to be sold, ever. You know what I'm saying? That's why that man told you freely you give and freely you give. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, he was talking about healings and miracles and things of that nature, but it ain't no different than with that word, man. But dudes done got in the word and feel like the game to be sold, not told. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. You know, you got brothers who done did Bible translations and sell it. Well, am I mad at them for doing that? Not really. You know, it take a lot into that. You know what I'm saying? Would I make a Bible translation and sell it? Probably not. And you know the reason why I say probably not? Because I would have to have an immense amount of resources, because it ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? To do that, to be able to produce them and give them away for free. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that if you did sell them, you probably not necessarily going to be selling them for a profit. And it would probably be able just to make your money back. If you make a couple dollars, then cool. I do have the understanding and realization of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Or some niggas might be selling it for a profit. Me, myself, I can't see myself selling no Bible. But of course, we know people sell Bibles, obviously. And I don't look at them funny because they do. Again, I'm speaking for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking for me. I wouldn't sell one. You know what I'm saying? But I don't turn my nose up at people who do. I don't turn my nose up at people who use biblical context, verses, or anything to sell books. I just want you to be clear. I don't look at this wicked nigga over here. No, that's not just something that I would do. But that don't mean if Civic wrote a book that I wouldn't be like, hey, boy, Civic wrote a book about such and such, man, y'all boys check it out. That don't mean that I wouldn't say that, because I would. I'm just saying, me personally, I'm not going to sell one. Because that's just the principle that I live by. You know what I'm talking about? Just because I live by that don't mean you do. Because guess what? It's not a sin if you do it. Because you got some people who don't like the fact that people sell T-shirts with Yahuwah's name on it. You know what I'm saying? You got people who don't like that. And that's fine. I'm not adverse to people who do it, but I also don't want to be in that lane, so it don't even click in my brain about it. I just showed you that jacket the other day. That jacket was fire. Would I do that personally? Probably not. But guess what? A lot of people in the Word, they want an article of clothing like that. And like I told you, the price wasn't bad. $180 for a leather or a leather and wool Letterman's jacket with chenille patches on it is not a bad price. You know what I'm talking about? You know, it ain't no Averex or nothing, but I think Averex is overpriced. You know what I'm saying? For what you get. I don't think it's that quality of leather. Maybe it is. Because I ain't seen one since the 90s. You know what I'm talking about? Like in person. You know, Pele's going, you had you one of them, boy? You ain't even one way. You went into that no. You had you a Pele door?
I said I believe so, yes.
You know you had one. You a New York nigga. You had to have about two. You had your Averex? Had them whole call. But I seen Averex boy want about $1,000 for that whole. Boy, I ain't paying $1,000 for no jacket, boy. He said I seen some Jordans to match up with that jacket. That boy, that's stupid. That jacket was fire though. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I was telling you the other day, it ain't cold enough around here consistently to want to drop $180 on a jacket like that. You know what I'm saying? If it was cool enough consistently, oh yeah, man, that jacket fire. That jacket was fire, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm partial to cream anyway. You know what I'm talking about? But it was nicely done. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's quality, you know, made, but I'm out just on the aesthetic. You seen it? Hold on a second. I'm gonna show y'all the jacket, man. Jacket nice though. Yeah, this right here. Hold on. Yeah, this. Now you doing too much. Your eyes ain't bad. Your eyes is bad. You squint. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no bad looking jacket. Y'all might can see that. No, you can't. It's too much glare, and I don't know how to turn the glare down no more. Every time they up, they jump, they move it around. Going back to Psalms 82 and 2, man.
I was giving you that word for gods. That's Alahym. The plural definitions are rulers, judges, divine ones, Malachim.
Now notice there I just hear the context of Exodus 22 is if he say, don't revile the gods of your people, don't revile the rulers and judges of your people. So just because you see gods doesn't necessarily mean that it's talking about the Almighty One or divine power. That's not necessarily the case. You know what I'm talking about? So when you see God stand in the congregation of the mighty, he judge among the gods. And of course, it's lowercase. This is talking about men. Psalms 82, and we almost at 3 hours too. Go ahead. Right by muffin room. In between their rooms.
And say, how long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah.
Defend the who?
The poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy.
Deliver who?
The poor and needy.
Out of the what?
Out of the hand of the wicked.
They know not.
Neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of their rats are out of course.
Now pause. Now that's the exit part we're going to come back to. Y'all willing? We have 3 hours. I can't push that no more. Because we were talking about judgment. His fourth is the valley of Hinnom, all that type of stuff like that you did. But now he's looking at judge these people who are doing X, Y, Z. So we'll look at what they're doing to the poor and the needy and the fatherless, especially as it pertains to the beast, since we talked about him going into the lake alive, getting burned over to that burning flame. But hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all time this evening. Bless y'all the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. Prayerfully, y'all understood all these things and it resonate in your brain. Let your Father in heaven in the name of Yahushua be esteemed. I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. Y'all willing, we'll be back at it on tomorrow and make it do what it do. Prayerfully, we're just going to finish Proverbs 6. I definitely didn't think, peace, Brother Joseph, man, we were going to deal with that long, but it is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Because what we got to deal with in Psalms 82 ain't that long. Because it's pertaining to something that's in my brain. Now I got to make sure I can remember what it was. As far as the sons of God is concerned. Especially when you take the Lord telling you that in John 10, and a couple things mentioned. That's what a part of, because we done dealt with that Samuel before about the gods ascending out of the earth. The sons of God resurrecting from the dead. The main premise you'll get is that we'll come up out. Amen, Sister Regina. Shalom. How you'll be rulers and judges with a Mashiach at that particular time. And we done dealt with you'll die like men and things of that nature. So yeah. Y'all willing, till on tomorrow, because this is 11:15. So I'm gonna let y'all slide, man. Let it do what it do. Y'all willing, I'll catch y'all on the next one. All right, y'all. I'm out of here.